could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you
Hello everyone, welcome back to the Smite Draft League Week 6 Immortal Division game here between, on the sides of Order, we have Wild Inferno. On the side of Chaos to match, we have Flourish. I'm D-Lo, joined here by Jeffrey. Jeffrey, how we feeling? Beyond sleepy.
We are feeling very tired as we are in a sleep recovery arc. Well, not much going on there as it's currently 3:49 a.m. But we're still here for you, ladies and gentlemen. And I just found back a lot of energy by eating some. So let's get into this game.
This cast is all sponsored by some cereal concoction that Jeffrey's got, pumping him full of sugar and of life as we get into things. But it seems that the life will not be pumped into these certain picks as they are removed slowly from the board. Of course, you have the stereotypical Afro. Wonder when one of those is going to get through. Terra, who's been making quite the splash in the Season of Hope, as well as Hades on the other side. A lot of magical threats being taken off the board here, as well as some physical ones. You have the Mercury and Susanoo, who are also very typical jungles that we are looking at, and the Guan Yu, but going to maybe potentially opt for a different kind of healing solo, the Hercules, being hovered right now by Wild Inferno.
Yeah, and with Hades being banned, I think I'm sure this is going to be one of the first times we finally don't see a Hades versus Fomana lane in this Netflix lane over at solo. So yeah, Hercules actually being locked in here as a first pick as well. I'm not sure if I would first pick it as, it's not a very contested pick at all right now. But, I mean, it gives you some options to counter pick the other team. What do you think, Dilo?
I have to agree with you that when you have some really major threats on the board still that are a bit more highly contested and a bit more difficult to get through the picks and bans, Hercules just doesn't fall to mind. Obviously, sometimes you're comfortable enough that it's worth it to get on this player, but already that puts a significant amount of pressure on whoever's running this Hercules. Really has got to bring it to make that auto lock for first pick work out. But here we are seeing something a bit more typical as being prioritized, the hyper carry Cernunnos. Cernunnos been a big impact, of course, thanks to those massive damaging abilities, that innate sustain built into the kit, and the massive disruptive presence they can bring to team fights. Personally, for my money, it's a bit of a better first pick, if you ask me.
Yeah, thank you so much, Eminem. As indeed, I do think Sunono is pretty decent right now. You do have some other hunters who can very much rival it, at least. Thinking, of course, about the Ishtar, for example. And I also don't think Mexico hunters are quite dead yet, although they did fall off after the Season of Hope came out. Looking at what will be the second pick out of the two first picks here for the Chaos team, which is Flourish.
I've got some high hopes. I've seen them run some pretty gimmicky things before. One time I saw them run a really awesome Morrigan Thor lineup where they just continuously copied to the Anvil of Dawn. Two Anvil of Dawns really was bringing the hurt. So I'm looking forward to seeing some interesting. And I have yet to commentate actually for a Geb. Geb, obviously, on its own, not the most interesting pick as far as what it brings to the table beyond some really solid supporting abilities and some great shielding. But I do like it because it's something I've not seen before.
Yeah, Gap has been falling out of favor with most of the players for a little bit now. However, he just brings so much to the table, and I mean, for example, the Athena kind of just counterpicked herself with Gap Shield just being able to get people out of the taunt instantly. But what
Very
do you want to
true.
do? Like, just grab someone without CC? Because that's also not good. So I think Gap might be a little bit underrated even, but let's talk about Red Wings on Merlin here. It's one of his staple gods, so pretty good over there. And a very, very much meta pick. So is Morgan Le Fay being hovered here.
Morgan Flay gonna in fact be locked in. Something else I really like about this Geb is that you're right. Like a lot of these things are very telegraphed. Not just the Athena, but as well as Hercules too. You know, you get knocked up by the Earthshake, you're gonna be imagined driving strike, but a nice shield can really save you there. You're gonna have to wonder if obviously shielding being Geb's whole shtick, they might decide to go for a cheeky erosion on the side of Wild Inferno. We do have quite a bit of anti-shielding items, but I don't really see many people making the foray into those more fringe items just yet, even with someone as focused on shielding as Geb. Would be interesting though.
Well, for sure, I would assume if Wild Inferno does go a physical hunter here that will go into the tier 4 item from Deathbringer that also has 40%
This
anti-shield.
is true.
Yeah, so they will have that, but I do indeed think Erosion, especially against the Godlike Gap, is not that bad of an item. I don't see it picked up too often lately, or like, well, lately it's just been added to the game, so we have not
Yeah.
been seeing it picked up ever, really. But I personally pick it up in my ranked games. I think it's not that bad, so I like that you mentioned it here.
Solid stat line on it too, as well as a cheeky ability. But I think they're listening to what you're saying right now, and the fact that hunters with that tier 4 Deathbringer can be a big threat. So it looks like they're looking to eliminate someone's off the board. Ishtar has been making huge waves here. Just an overall amazing hunter and what they can bring to the table. Can be played in the mid lane, played in carry. Obviously, be playing a carry here, but just has a lot of adaptability in what they bring to the team fight. So good thing to take that one off the board, as well as the Jing Wei, which is an interesting one. Just maybe don't want to deal with that annoying mobility. Amaterasu here going to be locked. Can only imagine that's going to be in the solo lane.
Well, yeah, and once again, that's a pick that we don't see too often. It's not quite meta, so to speak. This is a Hercules Amaterasu lane in in the season of Hope in Smite is wild. Like, I don't even see that in my casuals, let alone in an SDL match. But let's talk about Danzaburo. Danzaburo being locked in here together with an Hebwa last. I love it. What do you think about Danza?
I've always thought that Danza is really interesting just for its ability to be a bit wily. I always enjoy gods that allow for you to make some cheeky plays. Ao Kuang, anyone with stealth on it, anyone who's got some kind of misdirection, always fun to see. So I'm looking for some nice wily action here from the members of Wild Inferno to put that to good use. Hopefully not going to be a wasted effort there, but definitely solid. Another case though where some CC that comes from the Danza can pretty easily be negated by Geb. A lot of very obvious CC here that we're seeing on the members of Wild Inferno, which is going to be a bit difficult. Habwa is going to be maybe the one that's a bit more difficult to counter because you have to preempt. Actually, no, it's not impossible. If you put the Geb shield on before, that knockup's still going to hit you. So that's the one case where the CC can always be guaranteed. But on the others here, you have to imagine that there's going to be a lot of value from post-drop. You're going to be relying on him to get some big, big shields off.
Well, there you have it. And these are your picks for the first game. So let's get straight into that first game.
I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone out, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. When we were on, I'd always thought we would make it, but now you're gone. Baby, you're a ghost. I'm caught up in a landslide, mental on the low end. When I used to feel alive, now there's a hole in the city, can't feel shit. Where do I go? Cause I know you don't feel this. Can't catch a break for God's sakes. Feel like I'm waking up and I'm caught in a wake. Yeah, I know this is my funeral on parade. I did it to myself cause I always thought you would feel the same, and I know you don't. Drunk off the lights of a city, late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone out, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost in Brooklyn, missing home. I know you don't. Let's hit the brakes. I'm pulling out the parachute, jumping out the plane. You had it all in front of you, nothing feels the same. It's crazy what love can do, even crazier when it's not coming back to you. You say you need space, so I gave you all the states. Every night a different place. Used to think we're getting close, and now we're drifting away. And all I can say is that I'm feeling wasted. I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone out, that shit's broken.
Welcome back on in, everyone. Week 6, Immortal Division game here between Wild Inferno on the side of Order, Chaos side Flourish. I'm D'Lo, once again joined here by Sleep Recovery Arc Jeffrey, though he's kind of at a backslide, as you might be able to tell, into his first chapter. It's not quite the recovery stage just yet, as he's working hard for us. Jeffrey, something that we didn't really get to talk too much about during the picks and bans was this jungle matchup, which is an interesting one. Habwa versus Naja. To me, what that really spells out is kind of a little bit of a rock, paper, scissors game here, where whoever gets the drop on the other one first kind of has it all spelled out for them. What are your thoughts on that matchup?
Well, going into the early game, I would have to give it to the Nausea. Into the late game, it depends if Hebwa... hold that thought, though.
God,
Fish just died during the mid wave.
You can talk about the matchup all you want, but it's shown right there. Habwa clearly loses out all the time. Never mind. Doesn't even matter. Nah, please continue what you're saying, but nice first blood there for Flourish.
Well, I did say that Nausea would win the early game, and it was actually Realty getting the kill confirmed on the Morgan Le Fay, mid laner claiming first blood for themselves. But yeah, in the late game, it depends if Hebwa, in this case Fish, is able to beat the Sash and the ultimate from the Nausea. If he can, he just one hits.
Very true. You have to make sure that you're then up on the up and up when it comes to, is the Habwa's relic up or is it down? Because that is going to maybe spell a kill or a death there for Syzax. Going to play it a bit carefully. But it's not like you don't have some solid beads burners on your team to ensure that can happen. Amaterasu, when it rotates over those big heavenly strikes, whatever it might be called, as well as the Geb ult, all can provide some pretty solid CC that can make you fear for your life. Let's see some rotations here as we do see a bit of attention being casted over onto this duo side of the map. As the junglers here, where do you think your attention is going to be focused if you're on the side of Flourish?
For the side of Flourish, so looking at Nausea here, I mean, honestly, I would like to go for the Merlin probably. Red Wings does have the combat blink, which makes him pretty safe. So maybe even ganking the Hercules could be a plan as well. However, I wouldn't necessarily gank the dual lane all that much, as Fuckman Jones on this Dansburg can just to himself and makes, well, basically confirms that you get pulled in, which is usually not good for you.
Absolutely. Naja also not going to be able to really escape out of the situation, obviously. You know, the Sash being used more so to dive in. You don't want to be reserving that ult as well when it comes up for an escape. You want to be using that for damage. You have to see how that stacks on up here. But it seems that there's a bit of a split going on here. In the solo lane, we're seeing that Flourish is a bit more under pressure. Amaterasu going to be camping that tower a little bit more. It can only be expected. Hercules overall, higher priority pick, and generally better lane presence. It's all going to come down to whether or not A1 can make it happen in the team fight. But speaking of team fight, a decent one happening over here, 3-2, as the members of Flourish are on high retreat. Shell going to be expended, but being blocked out a little bit post-rom. That shield's going to come in handy. Taunt might come through, and that's going to be all it is necessary, you might imagine, as we just get a few more basics on there. Thockman Jones going to find the, not first blood, but the first blood for themselves on side of Wild Inferno.
Yeah, it looked like Post-Trauma and Dr. Killjoy thought they had a free invade over there, and instead they get killed and get invaded themselves as, well, LDG Fish made a good rotation over to this duo lane, helping the team out with some pressure, and like I said before, they got a kill out of it and a good invade.
Yeah, can't complain about that. Playing a bit more aggressively, it does seem, by the members of Wild Inferno, despite the Habwa being a god that you really need to have precise positioning on. That's something that LDG Fish is going to have to really make sure is happening, because you have gods that can really take advantage. A toe out of line, you're getting sent to the skies, brought back down, ulted by Sununos, and sent to the grave.
Yeah, for sure. One bad step on the Habwa here, and you might very much fall down, like you were saying. But yeah, so that even tells you more that they just played that engagement very well. Obviously, both members from Flourish on the duo lane there did not have their ultimates ready just quite yet. So I think it was rather safe this time for the Habwa to gank, but in future references, gotta be a bit careful.
In that sense, might be a good time for them to still engage, because it's still only level 4 for both of them, but likely going to get 5 off this wave. And with half health on each member of Wild Inferno in the dual lane, makes sense for them to not push the aggression, but would have been nice to maybe get one more gank, one more push for aggression before the members of Flourish hit 5. But now going to be getting on their ultimates and be a bit more safe, a bit more difficult to gank, especially when it comes to the Geb's potential to ward people off of him and his carry.
Yeah, and like you're saying, hitting level 5 now, they're gonna be a lot harder to be ganked, a lot of CC up with that as well. And Athena is on the other team, so I'm not gonna talk about that as... Alma almost gets soloed there. A1 gotta be careful there, brother, as Red Wings actually confirms a kill for themselves onto Sax here.
Yeah, gonna find one jungle for each side, both having an 0-1 ledger at the moment, but at the very least 2 assists on the hub while I've been a bit more of a participant. Meanwhile, we're seeing this Tales of oldest time here. Amaterasu gonna be camping on a tower. Can't expect her to be winning this lane quite yet, but it's, like I said, just gonna come down to whether or not A1 can really make it happen. Amaterasu, like you said, a pretty underpicked god. A1's looking to prove everyone wrong here, say, you've been sleeping on this god for a reason. Hold on a second. Dr. Rocket gonna come and try to find Sir Nuno's right now. Big damage, one basic away. That Bastion's not gonna save you. Thoughtman Jones get their second kill.
Yeah, I mean, great decision making by trying to at least get the Bastion to block off some auto attacks, but did not quite work out for them as Thoughtman Jones gets the solo kill over there. So, well, yeah, what else can you say but well played by them?
Wild Inferno, some team that's known generally for playing things pretty safe and making sure to farm on up, is putting quite a bit of aggression on with this team comp, which is something you love to see, no matter what game you're playing here. Always nice to see some popping off aggression on all cylinders, and that's what they're doing right now, especially when it comes to this dual lane. It seems that a lot of the attention indeed has been focused there, keeping Cernunos really at bay at the moment, trying to make sure it's not a factor in these later stages of the game.
Yeah, Wild Inferno with 3 kills already at 6 minutes in is not something we see too often of them. I mean, we all like to joke about them a little bit sometimes, and they know it. They are in on the joke. It seems like they're going for a bit more aggressive take this time, and just waiting to see how it will turn out when they actually go for those Fire Giant pushes.
They're trying to make Flourish the joke right now. 3-1, not the greatest start, but obviously by no means out of it. But if you're someone who's been tracking this team and understands their playstyle, it's gotta feel like you're being thrown for a bit of a loop right now. If you're a member of Flourish, you can't really predict it. Obviously, this late in the season, week 6, you might think that you have someone figured out, but it's also a really interesting time to throw a wrench in the system from Wild Inferno, which is another reason why I really like it. The mental game, I always say, is such an important part of things. It's not just what you're doing on paper, it's also what you're bringing as a player with your kind of tactics there between the games, behind the scenes. So I'm really liking to see this big change up from Wild Inferno.
Yeah, a big change up indeed, but like I was saying, it just gotta wait for a bit how they actually fight around objectives. As now, Athena might be finding herself a little bit out of position, but I think they will just make it out fine. Sax didn't decide to rotate over to that, however, might be looking at the duo lane here, and that could be Fuckman Jones in a bit of trouble. Athena does ult over, and actually LDG Fish is there too, so Jones deciding to ult in with the rocket.
Big damage with the combination between the Crushing Wave and the Rocket. Fantastic job. The Defender of Olympus was a bit early, came on before they actually got into tower, but didn't even matter. The follow-up was there. These amazing movements coming in from Wild Inferno are just too much for the members of Flourish to bear. You already saw that Dr. Killjoy had to retreat, use that dash defensively to get back under tower, had no means of really escaping out of that one. Excellent job. They're doing fantastic at keeping them under threat, sorry.
No problem indeed, but yeah, I agree with what you're saying. I mean, Jones is just capitalizing on his lead that he has right now, ulting in every single chance. Doesn't matter if he's under tower or not. And this time, he might not have killed his direct opponent in Dr. Killjoy, but still got a kill onto Sax. Well, I mean, he did not get the kill this time, but his team did get the kill onto Sax under tower there. Having to spend the Hebwa ult there as well feels a bit rough, but I mean, the Wild Hunt also came out, so I'd say it's a fairly even trade when it's coming to abilities, and you did get a kill for nothing out of it, so well played by them.
Yeah, it looks like Thoughtman Jones is going to be the one to look at. Seems that that's the member of the team that Wild Inferno is really slating to put on a pedestal here, making the big rotations potentially a bit earlier than hopefully Dr. Killjoy if you get this farm up, and maybe just make a big splash in these team fights, which if this continues along this route, could be a very sound strategy right now. In the mid lane, things looking relatively quiet. I'm just going to be shaking the earth up a little bit as he does. But yeah, we're unfortunately is not seeing much response from Flourish, just kind of trying to hang on and figure out what the hell's going on with this chained up of strategy. Sysax has made a couple rotations, but they really haven't been too impactful, unfortunately.
Yeah, they really haven't, and like I was saying before, I mean, I don't really think as a Nasha you wanna gank Jones here, but at this point, you also don't wanna let him go out of control, of course, so it's a hard decision to make. As actually, Physics is here in the mid lane, 9 minutes in already, probably looking at Gold Fury. If you ask me, with the solo laner being over here this early, Post Rama taking a lot of poke here by just standing there. inside of a Merlin, that's Fina pool will bring him down even lower, but seems like he is allowed to just walk out fine for now.
But you know, that might be the strategy here. Poke out the support and make it so it's a bit difficult, more difficult for that gold for you to be secured. Because now you see them, like you said, hovering around it. Flourish, you do see A1 being just kind of left to their own devices. But an Amaterasu at this point in the game is not going to be nearly as impactful. Crushing Wave, gonna find the Naja. Sizak's going to have
Will
to retain
die.
what little life they have. Blink going to be used
Blink.
defensively. Get yourself on out of there. But amazing damage, and that's really going to open up this Gold Fury. We do see that Physics is going to be providing some zoning capabilities here, making sure that no one's going to step in their side of the jungle. That's going to be a Gold Fury for free on the side of Wild Inferno.
Yeah, the amount of HP Zax lived there with is absolutely illegal in my eyes. And it looks like Flourish might actually get a Pyromancer back here for it. Physics is there to stop them if necessary. Athena ult coming out as well. There's already really Boulder.
Wild Inferno actually manages to take it. A1 gonna have to ult defensively to get on out of there. Fantastic rotations there. The global presence and physics awareness combined to make a perfect synergy, and they got both objectives without even having to do much work for it. They said, hey, thanks for knocking that down to quarter health for me, buddy. Really appreciate that. Here's a rock for your troubles.
Yeah, it was a bit of a coin flip who was actually going to get it in the end, but the double ultimates from Wild Inferno will secure the steal onto the Pyromancer. So getting both objectives there and a one team fight, I think they don't even care anymore that Zax lived there with a sliver of HP. They are very happy right now.
That's gotta feel really good and really bad here, Flourish. You almost had your consolation prize, and no, it was snatched from your grip like candy from a baby. Unfortunate there. And A1, though you spend quite a bit of time underneath in the solo lane by themselves, really didn't get much done as far as structure damage goes. You got farmed back up a bit. You have to imagine only to be able to catch up, but that's gotta feel bad now because Physics had presence in with some kills. Actually, wait, nope, sorry, never mind. 0-0-0. Not presence with some kills, but at very least some solid XP and golden pocket from those objectives. So you're not really feeling any worse for wear for Physics coming back into the lane, but meanwhile, Flourish as a team looking a lot more worse.
Yeah, Flourish is not looking better of it. I don't think anyone in the end died in that fight, as the only one who got close hit was Zax, who was able to blink out after all.
Right.
But losing 2 objectives because of it is very, very big still. So
Almost rather have the death in that scenario, man. Like, I'd rather have one dead and at least get an objective off the map for my team than this be the scenario. Seems
Definitely.
like if you're a member of Flourish right now, then who are you looking to be your counter to the Dance of Boro, who's clearly looking to be the hero? Wait, hold on a second, because we have a hero rising up. LGD Fish is coming to target A1. Oh, what got him? Oh, it was hidden inside that boulder was indeed a wave. The little combination ult there. Excellent job fusing them together. Wild Inferno showing the power of friendship truly is non-defeatable. They're going to get a 5th kill for themselves, only contested by 1 from Flourish. Flourish going to try to make a rotation over to the dual lane. There's nothing really on the map for them to grab, just some oracles for their troubles. It's looking rough for them. What are you going to do if you're Flourish to get back in this game?
Yeah, I don't even quite know, honestly, at this point. They
that's
just
mean.
gotta... That is very mean indeed. Like, let's forget about that for a second. As what to do to come back in this, I mean, honestly, just farm until late game is probably the easiest answer. Try and not take too much fights, but we're 30 minutes in, you're 5,500 XP behind, you're 5,000 gold behind. This is looking like one of the most rough games I've seen this season so far.
It's not great. It's certainly not insurmountable. 5,000 by no means. At this point in the game, you can get a later Gold Fury, come back up on that, get a few kills for yourself. They just got to be playing a bit more carefully. I feel like they're just getting caught out. Actually, they're just getting kind of out-rotated here, if anything. Because you do see a lot of these kills happening underneath the Flourish structures, but the rotations from Wild Inferno are just a bit more cohesive, a bit more well-coordinated, and the Athena especially allows for that to be very simple. Coordination is literally a 4-button away. Wild Hunt, they're going to be expended, but nice pre-beads, but beads used a bit too early there, unfortunately, by Thockman Jones. You can see he's clearly the raccoon on the menu at the moment. Sorry, not a raccoon, whatever Emily might be, but it doesn't matter because he's smelted there by Dr. Killjoy. Some revenge for the carrier Flourish. Nicely done, going to disperse in all directions, and that's what I like to see. Excellent job. Don't overstay your welcome. Post-drama. Come on, man. What was I just saying? Gonna miss the driving strike. They're gonna be not in harm's way quite yet, but Flourish doing a great job finding a kill onto someone who's been doing really well. You have to imagine there's a decent bounty in your pocket for that one, too. And gonna be able to get out on it just safely. Excellent job there from Flourish to make something happen.
Well, yeah, if you're just saying all the points, I was gonna actually bring up the point of a good bounty there from Dr. Killjoy as well, but you already did, as now Fish is being forced to beat and ult to get out of there. Still in a bit of trouble as they're falling down low, but now it's actually Killjoy who gets triple bounced by the boulder.
Physics is doing a great job bouncing this off walls, looking like a Hoi, but just with rocks instead of arrows. Excellent job. He's throwing stones at the moment, but looking like it might not be enough. After all, Post Rama's made of that stuff. He says, hey, man, you're just throwing my kids at me. Post Rama going to be looking to maybe contest this gold for you alongside A1. A1 now having joined the fights this time around. Full health Amaterasu, nothing to slouch at, especially with that ult in pocket at the moment. But a lot of resources are used. We're looking for maybe Realty to join this fight. Haven't really seen too much of an impact from the Morgan Le Fay. Seems the gold for was a bait, though, to just eliminate the Geb. Wiped off the map there by LDG Fish. Excellent job. Retreating on back now. Physics going to take a little bit of poke, but not really much when you think about it, actually. Realty not quite providing the damage numbers. Gold Fury will be leashed at the moment, but going to be dropped as we do see that they're looking a bit worse for wear. Half health is the Athena at the moment. Down the burrow a bit low as well. LDG Fish, though, has to be careful. Habwa, not really the most escapability. Physics going to make sure to provide a little bit of guard duty there for their jungler. Taunted on in at the moment on the side. Dr. Killjoy blinking on in. Not going to find, though, the Water Geyser, and not going to find the Crushing Wave either. Dunsborough Rocket might find it, though. There it is. The combination is off. LDG Fish going to pick up another kill on Dr. Killjoy. Gold Fury will be resumed now. We're going to try it one more time. No members of Flourish really to contest. Might go back to the Pyromancer, but you might see a similar story as last time, my friends. I don't know if you want to do that.
Well, the fact that Gold Fury lived along can be summed up by one word, and that's Wild Inferno. I mean, I guess that's two words, but...
Uh-oh.
Is
The crashing party's here. No, not gonna quite. I was worried, but hold on, this could be big. Gonna have to use the Windfire Wheels defensively, expecting the rest of the cavalry was coming, and indeed they are now here. Sysax might not have wanted to use it, in fact, because the bolt is gonna smash his face in. Physics gonna pick up that kill. Sysax may be a bit too preemptive. I think expecting that the cavalry of the Wild Inferno was right behind Physics, but when the reality was they're a bit behind. I think he actually could have gotten out had he just decided to walk back to his team. Instead, gonna opt for the more risky play, gonna try to rely on his teammates to provide enough damage to ward off the members of Wild Inferno. It's not gonna work. They're gonna pick up their 8th kill.
I mean, yeah, I actually do think Sysax might have been trying to ult away from the Hercules there and accidentally hit him as he just came in front of him. As now Post-Trauma is falling down. It's actually Jones claiming the kill after the waves hit him towards 1 HP. That's the second time Hebra does not get a kill because someone lives with half an HP after his ultimate. Actually, it's the 3rd time, but the other 2 times it just got confirmed by a teammate.
Hey man, we'll take that. Kills are kills, whether they're in your friends' pockets or your own pockets. But hey, water super effective against rock. Gotta make the obvious joke. There's a Pokemon battle, and LDG Fish is coming up super effective for it. And the entire team is right now 9-2. Flourish really gotta try to pull together to bring this one back at the moment. I liked the call for the Pyromancer, but it seemed like they hesitated a bit too long. They're just kind of tossing kills down the well. You saw Post-Rama fall. Then after a very long engagement, Dr. Killjoy as well. It's just not working when they're taking too long for these things to happen. And Physics is doing a great job rallying the entire team together. Huge damage on boulders. I don't think I've ever seen a Hercules do so much damage just alone on their own. Usually you see them being a support, something to worry about in the back of your mind. But here, Physics is your greatest nightmare.
Well, it says a lot to me when you look at the player damage charts on the bottom left of your screen.
Oh my, I didn't even notice.
Hercules being the top and Amaterasu being the bottom.
That's crazy.
I wouldn't even say it's like a player diff. I think it's just mostly a pick diff. I think Amaterasu is kind of bad.
Unfortunate, because in a healing meta, you might think there's some potential for the Amaterasu. Obviously, she provides some utility with the speed and the power, but it's just not quite finding its mark. It does indeed have, as we see, that the Vital Amplifier, trying to get a bit cheeky with the build, but I personally think a Vital Amplifier is not really great here. Amaterasu is not going to be landing a lot of basics very easily. It is nice for your passive, reveals everyone with the light, provides some protection debuffs, but unless you're really intending on just holding down left mouse for that long, it's not going to be that big of a factor. I think Sekhmet Scepter would have been maybe a little bit better if you provide some heal. Actually, I think it's only if you provide... No, that's if you provide self heals too. That's the one that indeed provides cooldown for your abilities, which I think is where the value of Amaterasu comes in a lot more. So I just think it's a bit of an itemization difference that I think is going to come back to bite the members of Flourish.
90 minutes in and we're actually pulling Fire Giant here on Wild Inferno. I'm sure they're not going to actually finish this because it is Wild Inferno. If they are, then I guess they really have changed. Post-Trauma thinks this surely they are because he ults, and actually it is Wild Inferno and finishing the Fire Giant, getting it for themselves. Dunsborough up into the rocket, and there is the crushing wave actually getting down A1 as the first kill of this fight. Will it be the last though? Physics sure hopes not, as he's running them down, but decides to just back off to his team. It's still a 1v4. You might be a very big Hercules with Fire Giant, but 1v4 is still a bit scary.
I don't know, man. For him, he seems like he's ready to take everyone. Everyone's worst fear, especially if you're a STEM major, is physics right now because that guy is looking big and scary. He's just able to charge them all down and zone out without really any fear in the world at the moment. And it's partly because potentially, I don't think I'm seeing. No, we do have a contagion. We have one contagion online for some anti-heal.
Cringe.
Pestilence, you have to imagine, might be coming out of the Geb as well because they have a decent amount of sustain. So you might want to watch out for that coming onto the Geb at the moment. But yeah, it really is just a difference in the potential of what our Hercules is bringing right now. That's fat damage, fat zoning capabilities, and also quite a bit of a hefty
Flourish
body.
just
Hold on
stole
a second
that.
there. Was that Flourish?
Flourish just stole that.
Dang,
Post-trauma just
post-drama. Okay, working up within the steals. Look at that man walk. Swag walk going on here with the Geb. Got to be feeling good after that one. Putting yourself a bit more back into it. Honestly, more so taking it off the map for Wild Inferno than putting it into the pockets of Flourish at the moment. Gold Fury is not going to be enough to get yourself back in this game. They're going to need another couple cheeky gorilla kills, which is what we saw before. That's what they need. One of their 2 kills was really well done. They caught someone lacking, caught them far out, and immediately dispersed into the trees. That's what we want to do. Get some 1-kill picks off and just retreat on back. You cannot win the 5v5 right now.
Yeah, but let's go back to that Gold Fury steal for a second here. As tier 2 tower does fall down, by the way. Still Fire Giant around everyone from Wild Inferno. But is there anything in this game that feels better than playing support and actually being able to steal an objective? What do you think, Dila?
No, as a support main myself, I was always, I was quite literally the default Smite player when I started. I saw Ymir was the first god of that was there. I never looked back, fell in love immediately. So honestly, as someone who's gotten, a couple of those myself, it definitely feels good. You must be riding high right now if you're post drama. MVP. But get to do, like we said, a little bit more as we do see this tier 2 being looked at. But hold on a second, Sizak's gonna be found maybe a bit out of position, trying to be the loner of the group. But we do see it in the back. A1 being called out. Might be trying to find a big ult, but it might be too late. Quite a bit of damage being found in a post-trauma. Big rock and a bounce back. Dogman Jones going to find that kill. A1 finding out their contribution really was not appreciated by anyone. No damage really done. LDG Fish is a bit more worse for wear, but just fine, honestly, in the grand consideration of things. Big taunt gonna happen there from Danzabura, as well as the Athena. Thokman Jones gonna put a second kill on the ledger for him. Seeming to wrap around the back right now is Naja, sticking around the back, trying to find some more. But triple kill there for Thokman Jones. Gonna potentially look for more. Hold on a second. Everyone's right for the pickings. Oh, come on, man. Let him have it. Red Wing gonna take one off the board there for Dr. Killjoy. Off Dr. Killjoy.
Looking at Titan?
There. Would have been a nice second penta there to put in the ledger of Wild Inferno. Instead, they're going to try to just knock down this Titan, but looking a bit low right now. Athena in a bit of trouble potentially. Going to retreat on back. Going to suffice with half health on the Titan. I think it's a wise decision. Syzax and Potion might not be the scariest combination on that team of Flourish, but you don't want to be risking your entire lead right now. You can play it safe and come back later.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like I've said before during this cast, I know we're memeing on you, Wild Inferno, for sometimes maybe playing it a bit too safe, but you're 22 minutes in, there's a tower and 2 birds down. You don't go for, there are 3 people respawning, you do not go for Titan there. So
they don't know. They're so unused to the aggression. They're like, what do we do now? I don't know. I didn't think we get this far. But I appreciate it, man. They've got the aggression. They're really vibing with it. And aggression looks good on Wild Inferno right now, man. This is a new dude that I think suits them quite well.
Yeah, for sure. I must agree. As well, if it already was a good team, but if they keep putting this off in playoffs, I think they can reach maybe like the finals, if not just win it all.
It's a definite possibility here. I can't take it out of the hands of the Flourish right now. Going to try to contest this Fire Giant. Vision is in their favor at the moment. Going to be helpful. Wards being placed, though, around. Everyone sees, that spear is just not going to quite be enough for you. I want to poke it a couple more times. Phalanx won't do it either. There it is. I was about to say, you realize the abilities won't kill the wards, right? Now going to be dancing around this Fire Giant. You have to imagine that Wild Inferno, those oftentimes been using these for baits for kills, whereas Flourish, I think, is more here for the spoiler factor. They're going to try to stop them from taking the FG. Might not really be looking for a kill unless Wild Inferno gets too crazy. I think they're just going to be happy for them to not have the FG in their pockets. But I think Wild Inferno realizes that too. Everyone really just had a neutral standing here at the moment, as we're just waiting for one person to make that big engage on in.
Yeah, it feels rough if you're Flourish here. I mean, you have to be there. If you give them free fire again, they probably just end the game after taking tier 2 on, right?
Yep.
But you also got fire means pushing in onto your mid lane, onto your Titan. So what do? You have to send someone back, but who do you send back? It's the infinite question. Usually solo laners get sent back a lot, but do you really want to, as Fire Giant is being pulled here, and it's being burned quite quickly. It's already below half, but the fight actually going on.
LTD Fish is still going to be up there, as well as Physics. They're both just doing work right now. Already a kill, and like we said, Fire Giant was really just a front for greater things to come. Already a kill, and Fire Giant's still in their pockets. They were able to do it even without the Habla. Big Rocket, Big Rock, the Rock combination. Gonna find some decent damage on A1, but that's still a pretty tanky Amaterasu. Not gonna quite find enough. Putting up the front line, we do see Physics gonna driving strike him back on in, but not quite enough damage to follow. They're focused on the tier 2 tower, gonna be looking for structures, overkills, and you know what? When you have still this many to destroy to get to that Titan, I think it's a wise play.
Yeah, probably, but I would assume they're eyeing the bird here pretty easily, pretty eagerly as well, is actually the word I was trying to look for. No minions for quite a bit of time, but do you really need them? Physics can walk in there any moment, so can Nishishu. So,
Ooh!
does seem actually it's post-trauma with a great blink, but...
You know what? It was a really valiant attempt, but just not enough follow-up, not enough time. Blinking on in just to get deleted themselves. Physics going to driving strike him back into the team, and that's going to be enough there for post-drama.
Yeah, it sure will be, as this mid Phoenix is almost respawning with, yeah, post-drama is dead for another 20. I also do not think this Phoenix is spawning for another 20 though, so... bit unfortunate timing there if you are Wild Inferno, and it seems like they're going for a Pyromancer here, so they just lost a bit of their aggression that they were going for earlier, but it's not the worst calls in the world.
No, they're just going to be looking to maybe retake those structures underneath better circumstances. Post-Rama will be back up in that fight, must be known there, but I feel like if you're Wild Inferno, you're feeling pretty confident that that 5v5 is not going to be too big of an issue. Must be said, LDG Fish, unfortunately, a bit of spaghetti on your pockets because it's going to be blinking on in, missing that one engagement. Sizak's going to return with the miss on the Sash, so nothing going to quite come up there, but at the very least, you don't have to worry about that Relic for a little bit longer if you remember for Flourish.
Yeah, for sure, as... looking at the XP department, we see everyone from Wild Inferno here except for the Athena, of course, being level 20 already, where no one has hit it quite yet on Flourish. So I do think this is the moment for Wild Inferno to actually push in here. They got a bomb now from destroying the Pyromancer as well. This mid Phoenix is looking very unhealthy. What do you think?
I'm like just trying to ascertain like who is the hero that could potentially rise out of Flourish right now. And default me is just saying Morgan Le Fay because it's the god that's closest to level 20 right now, has not really had, you know, the one who got you the first blood in the first place. So hey, if that's anyone to carry the flag for you, carry the banner, it must be Realty there. And I've seen great things be done by Realty. Realty's got some great game sense to their name, so hopefully you can pull something out of their bag of magic tricks there as the mage here, Morgan Le Fay. But just despite being pretty high on the damage numbers, I just feel like it hasn't been impactful. But of course, the reason is what you're seeing is kills, and what you're not seeing from Flourish there is kills. So Morgan Le Fay has been kind of quietly doing their thing in the background, looking for them to make a big splash, hopefully get a nice big chunky ultimate on someone. But it looks like Wild Inferno's not looking to make that a possibility, as they're going to try to burn down this mid Phoenix. Physics can really just run circles in there and take 0 damage.
Yeah, and any damage that he does take gets healed up after 3 seconds by pressing his free. So, pretty freely here, as we also see Fish actually split push him onto the left lane. Ooh, great blink ultimate here by
Where'd he go?
But will it be enough? No, it will not be, as Red Wings is half HP still on landing, but the rest of the team is going on. Go with it. Dr. Killjoy getting the first kill onto Red Wings here. Post-Trauma with a great ultimate, as Jones will also pop down. Dr. Killjoy getting a double kill, but Fish in the background actually killing down Sax. Hebwa now being knocked up, in a bit of trouble here. Athena ult coming over to help, but...
The Defender is going to do a great job mitigating enough damage, but it's not quite enough. Realty, there we go. Going to pick one up for yourself. Fantastic engage there off Flourish, catching one out with an amazing CC chain. Physics now has the tables turned on him. Gonna have to try to take 3 members. Might be possible, honestly, to pick up a kill here. Looking back and forth. Where do I go right now? Driving strike will not find its mark, and that's really unfortunate. Could have been some solid damage there on a Realty. Physics there going to... Wait, what? Did he blink?
No one hit him.
He got that blink, I suppose. Gonna be able to heft on out of there. A1, you're by yourself, my friend. Despite as much as you might want to get a kill onto your aggressive solo laner there, not gonna quite find it. Flourish there. Syzax fell in battle, but for a great cause there. Making sure to take down 2 with him with all that amazing engagement. The blink in with the Windfire Wheels was incredibly risky, but paid dividends because the members of Wild Inferno just didn't seem to know what to do at that point.
Yeah, they sure didn't, as they just lost their first fight of this game, which is a bit unfortunate. But Dr. Killjoy will get the card out here by mostly the Hercules. It's actually Athena confirming the kill, and another pull here from the Hercules. He's been hitting those on point. And now with Taunt coming in, A1 in a bit of trouble, being forced to ult to get out of there with the CC immunity. Physics not giving this up for free though.
I think Flourish just got a bit too big for their britches, and this is what I was saying. If you're behind so much right now, you need to let those victories stay victories. I'm a bit disappointed, honestly. It's a hubris that we oftentimes see come from players who are down by a lot and come off with a really good engagement. They get a bit too big for their britches, and they unfortunately lose something out of it. And right now they lost their carry. Not what you want to see.
Definitely not. No, Dr. Killjoy overstayed their welcome just a little bit there, maybe a little bit out of position, got caught out. And, well, it's only 2 tanks, but one of those tanks is physics on a Hercules, so you will fall down as they are still on top of
For
the
sure.
damage charts, actually, even though Hebwa has been hitting these crushing waves on cooldown. That says a lot about this Hercules and his playstyle.
Yeah, it really does, man, because these guys have been leading the charge in damage and aggression. Both have been doing such an amazing job. Habwa, forget what I said about positioning, because LTG Fish is just holding mouse key forward and just getting on into these fights as far deep down your throats as possible. That seawater is getting your eyes, your ears, your mouth. It does not matter. Habwa is looking to make you pay for any pollution you've done to the ocean. But it wasn't enough for that last engagement, only because of these amazing engagements that come from Syzax. And maybe looking for another one there, but it did not quite find its mark. We're going to be able to quite take out the Athena anyway, but what I'm looking for now, with all ults up on either side, I'm looking for Flourish to make another one of those cheeky engagements. Seems like the only time they can really win these fights is when they set the tempo, when they have the rhythm that they make Wild Inferno dance to. And right now, Syzax is trying to samba, but in the right lane, LTG Fish, once again, just doing her thing. Oh my gosh, Syzax might not be trying to dance at all because they're stepping on toes. LTG Fish gonna drop them real quick in payback for that, but maybe a bit low at the moment on themselves. Defender of Olympus gonna come in, tank off a decent amount of damage. Physics gonna find a kill on a realty. LTG Fish gonna retreat to safety. Excellent job there. Phoenix gonna fall, pushing their way now into the Titan. You can only imagine Wild Inferno is looking for this game to end, taunting them on in. CC chain might be found there on A1. Not quite enough damage though. LGG Fish returning to a decent amount of health. Gonna be able to provide some solid damage on this Titan. You can only imagine it's a matter of time. Dr. Killjoy gonna try to find something, but Thockman Jones gonna deny that as an option. LGG Fish trying to find the kill as A1 as a consolation prize. Not gonna happen. You're gonna have to watch them fall that Titan right in front of you, buddy. Excellent job there. Game falls to Sunbreakers. We'll catch you at the desk.
I could get drunk off the lights of a city. Late night phone calls just to say you miss me, but you don't. No, you don't. Drop my phone now, that shit's broken. 2 a.m. and I'm lost.
I'd like to dearly apologize to the members of Wild Inferno for my sins here, as they're the ones who indeed took off. Man, I have a cheat sheet for a reason, Jeffrey, and it's just not paying off for me today. Jeffrey, what happened here? Talk to me.
Well, don't ask me. I'm the one who's normally known for like actually messing up those names.
You've been cast with me, that's why.
You Jeffrey
have
did,
not
dude.
cast with me. We are two incompetent idiots right now. Oh no, Jeffrey, what happened with that final engagement? Talk to me, buddy.
Well, what I saw is just a split push Hebwa fighting off 2 of them, killing one of them while the mid Phoenix is just falling down. Right bird falling down very quickly as well after it, because there was still a bomb available as well. And after that, there's just no stopping. With 1 bird alive, that Titan is so unhealthy, especially when you have a Merlin, you have a Hebwa, and you have a Dansburu just knocking at it. Yeah, Titan falling down too quickly. I mean, Hebwa almost did fall down towards A1 here with the Amaterasu, but it wasn't meant to be. Just very, very solid smite by Wild Inferno here.
It really was, man. The aggression they were coming off of, like, I haven't casted a Wild Inferno Immortal Division game here yet, so I didn't know what to quite expect, but now I'm just expecting high-octane action. I know that's not what their history says, but, man, they're really showing that they can do it all. Get you a team that can do both, and they're providing that right now. LDG Fish with an amazing split push in 2 different engagements. Habwa, not ever what you might imagine as the typical split push god, but Fish making it work and making a big splash there over in the other lanes, putting a lot of damage on his Syzax, taking him out of the fight, putting the fear of God there into A1 too, and still managing to get out of the fight smelling like roses. Fantastic work from the Habwa jungle there. An unconventional pick, or not unconventional, but at the very least, a controversial pick that can certainly be dangerous for you if your positioning is not right. LGG Fish did not care, was constantly pushing it to the max and making it work.
Yeah, for sure. So, like I said, just solid smite by Wild Inferno. And I mean, if you are Flourish, there are probably like 3 things I would like to see a bit different here. First of all, during the draft, don't pick Amaterasu. And then also, the last pick Nasha just ain't it. I think Naja is a solid pick, just not against the team you were fighting yourself into. You have no solid ganking lanes with, well, Merlin just having a combat blink. Danzaburu literally just counters you by pressing 2 on himself whenever you sash him. And Hercules is just Hercules, so he will just run away with all of his HP after he presses 3. So probably Nasha just wasn't the play to pick there. And I also would really like to see Realty a bit more involved. Did have top player damage for his team. Actually, no, it did get overtaken by Dr. Killjoy in the end, but did have a solid amount of player damage. I mean, wasn't that much, 15k, but it's good enough, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
However, I would like to see them a bit more active in these fights.
I mean, it's unfortunate because, yeah, they were doing their thing, but it just didn't come to pass. The one, like I said, the one times where they were winning those fights was when you saw the members of Flourish engaging, when they were setting the pace there. When you saw the blink in from Syzax, lifting up one from the air, they scattered. The members of Wild Inferno just had no idea what to do. And it's not like their comp didn't have even more potential for that. It just never was found. You saw sometimes A1 was trying to make a sneaky play, moving into the side of the jungle to try to maybe pull off a sneaky gank, get off a big ult that would really stun everyone and kind of cause a bunch of disarray. It just didn't come to pass. You didn't see post-drama using the ult much, except off the defensive. Off of the offensive, maybe a couple times in the early game, but once you got to those bigger engagements, you never really saw the members of Wild Inferno being taken at all by surprise. And I think that just allowed them to steamroll. The only surprise was Wild Inferno itself, and it really caught Flourish sleeping.
Yeah, for sure. Well, there you have it, folks. That's our analysis. So this is game 1. Are we gonna get a game 3, or is Wild Inferno gonna stump again? You will see it in game 2. I am Jeffrey, and my chair 1 is Dilo. And also thank you, iNooblet, for camming. We'll see you in game 2.
When every road could lead me back to the memories that we once had, yeah. Tell me how this so easily falls apart. 'Cause damn, you still fucking have my heart. Tell me how this so easily falls apart. 'Cause damn, you still fucking have my heart. And all I have is another of your cigarettes lit.
Welcome on back, everyone. Game 2, Week 6, Immortal Division. Nothing's changed except for the sides here. On the side of order, we do have indeed the members of Flourish looking to try to make a big comeback mounted against the sides of Chaos here. Wild Inferno coming fresh off their victory. Gonna have to see here if they continue the aggression that they really were going heavy with in Game 1. I'm once again Dilo, joined here by Jeffrey. Jeffrey, how are you feeling?
I'm still feeling very tired, but hey, well, let's
Sorry.
knock this one out, shall we? As still no Sunbreakers in this, by the way. We see 4 bans being thrown here out pretty quickly. Actually, the 5th one coming out as well. It's the Respect Hercules ban. I was expecting to see that. How about you?
I think that's a wise play. Hercules is not only a common meta pick, but you saw it being pushed to such effectiveness. I always think if you're going to ban out a member of a comp, it's got to be the problem. And I think sometimes people misdirect who the problem is. I actually think that Danzaburo, though, was certainly an issue. I don't think it was the primary one. I think what you really saw was physics could do it all: damage, zoning, tanking. And so I think that the Hercules ban was a great one. And actually, now that I think back to it, we were doubting the Hercules as the first pick, but now proving why they did it and proving why you need to first ban it too. Wild Inferno is doing a great job making us eat our words.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's my caster's curse, right? Every single time at least since the Season of Hope has been released, I've said from at least one pick that I didn't like it, and that pick turned out to absolutely run the game down. So I guess I just don't have any game knowledge anymore.
That's okay, man. Just makes the predictions more exciting. I'm gonna have to ask you who you think is gonna suck this game, and we're gonna watch them get a penta. Right now, Sir Nuno's gonna be locked in alongside the Merlin for Wild Inferno. Susano, Ishtar, two gods that we saw banned out quite early in the last picks and bans phase for game one, now being thrown onto the side of Flourish there. Some pretty big assets. What are our thoughts, Jeffrey?
Well, this time I see full meta picks all across the board so far. So I'm not going to call anything bad. So we don't know who's going to win yet. As well, whoever I call bad will win, like we just established. But yeah, like I was saying, it's full meta picks. I mean, Ishtar, Sunanos, just bringing back to season 9, I guess, where this is the only matchup you saw ever. With Tiamat being locked in now, it's the first a little bit less meta, but it's still very good.
I haven't seen Tiamat actually in a while. Certainly a bit less prevalent after the Season of Hope launch. Season of Monsters, where we really saw Tiamat hitting its heyday, going to be matched off by the Khepri here. Tiamat's interesting. I think Tiamat's an interesting god because I think people underestimate how important it is to land your Ruinations properly. Ruination, the ability that has the triangle and the smaller triangle. The second triangle not only does more damage, but gets you that instant CC. So you have to make sure that you have some setup there to provide that. Susano has a little bit for you with the Wind Siphon as well as the Typhoon. So hopefully, not A1, you can only imagine it's going to be put onto the mid Realty. Hopefully, Realty is going to put that to solid use. And I think it's honestly a god that I like for a Realty as well because it can be a bit more aggressive and be a bit more involved in those team fights, like you were saying, than something like a Morgan Le Fay.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Tiamat is one of those gods that can just jump into your team and just not care what's going on and kill every single person. However, Red Wings going back to his stable Merlin, I think he's played it around like 80% of all of his matches this season so far. So very confident in his mid lane role as well. So
And
we might see team up being just bursted down whenever they do jump in, as Merlin is definitely able to do that.
Certainly, it's interesting because, like I've said, not too familiar with this team as far as my casting experience goes. But if Red Wings been so prevalent in picking this Merlin, 80% of games, no small amount. Why do you think that we're letting this go through? Do you think that's an oversight there from the side of Flourish to let maybe ban out Hercules and Athena and not prioritize something like the Merlin, put Red Wing on something a bit less comfortable?
Well, I don't want to call anyone out here, of course, but I think as much as Red Wings is a decent player, I don't think he's the one standing out too much. Usually for Wild Inferno as someone who always does their job, but I also do think they will just do their job fine playing in Agni as well. So I do get not wanting to ban out someone who can play anything that's kind of meta and just do their job right.
That's a fair point there. Merlin certainly last game was putting up some damage numbers, but you weren't seeing them burning down everyone. That was more so indeed the Hercules as well as the Denzel Burrow. We're gonna have to hope that Thawkman Jones has the same success on the Sununos being reversed onto him. Now we're gonna see the Nemesis pick in. Nemesis is interesting. Before any tanks have been locked in, we are gonna see the Nemesis, and that's gonna have to imagine potentially affect the draft that we see coming in here in response from Flourish. What are our thoughts on the Nemesis pick?
Well, I think Wild Inferno might win because I'm gonna say it. I think Nemesis might be the worst jungler in the game right now as far as
Dang!
assassins go.
The worst? Really?
Yes.
Please explain your takes on that, my friend.
Well, Nemesis has always not been the greatest. I mean, of course, stealing protections isn't bad, but I mean, Dr. Killjoy picking Hera there for what I would assume being realty kind of is going to run into the same issue. Shields are kind of dead right now. Nemesis, her strongest ability is the reflection shield, and with shields being kind of like not good, I don't like it. But that might just be me.
The utility that comes from the Nemesis, the shield certainly is useful, but I've seen comps where there's very knock-up heavy comps and very stun heavy comps, things that can instantly eliminate the shield, where Nemesis's utility still does shine through. Gonna have to imagine that we're gonna see Fish really valuing that ult, which is gonna make, what I always like about Nemesis is that it makes a nice simple flowchart for your team. And I always think that's necessary because even if after 6 weeks of playing Smite together, you're the most cohesive team around, you can still have slip-ups, you can still have miscommunications about who to target. Nemesis ult, Divine Justice makes it so clear. Get that guy. Get the guy with the glowing sword above them. It makes things simple and it makes things easy. So I always appreciate it for that reason. Kukulkan, sorry. Would have been more interesting if it was Kukulkan. Kukulkan going to be the final lock in here. Physics going to have to see if he can really make the same bullying happen there on this other big beefy guy.
Yeah, well, definitely, and I think Kukulan is the kind of god that will always just be somewhere, excuse me, somewhere around the meta into the solo lane. It's someone who is very good at just watching Netflix while you play. So yeah, a solid pick.
You're gonna have to imagine you might be queuing up that new show that just came out, Beef. Really good one. Have to recommend. One season, easily watchable. If you like high stress shows like Breaking Bad, certainly couldn't recommend it more. But gonna have to see if this Kakolan is just as commendable when we get into game 2. We will see you all shortly.
Still fucking have my heart, and all I have is another of your cigarettes lit, but not a single fuck left to give. I could explode, I feel like gasoline when you're mad at me. Lit a match in the wind, so I'm asking please. I try to cope, go through the motions, no, I got a noose around my throat. Fuck, I love you, but I know that I should let you go. Situations got me pressed and I'm on overload. I'm on overload, so another of your cigarettes out. Fuck, I always feel so burned out. I never smoked before I met you. Now I chain smoke the way I like to kiss you. Cause I know you're with them while I'm here, staring at a red light. Stopped, windows down, cursing at the street signs. When every road could lead me back to the memories that we once had, yeah. Tell me how this so easily falls apart. Cause damn, you still fucking have my heart. Tell me how this so easily falls apart. Cause damn, you still fucking have my heart. And all I have is another of your cigarettes lit.
Welcome on back here, everyone. Week 6 Immortal Division. Once again, Flourish looking to mount the comeback versus Wild Inferno in this game 2 right here. I'm D'Lo, once again joined here by Jeffrey here. As we
Hello.
get back into this game, just off comp alone, Jeffrey, who we feeling? Oh, I know we said that we hate Nemesis, so therefore Wild Inferno will win. But comp, overall here, looking at the cohesiveness of each one, who do we feel like has the edge in this early game?
Ooh, in the early game specifically,
Yes.
I don't know. I would give it to Flourish maybe, for the pure fact of them having an Ares over a Capri. I think that's the only deciding factor for the early game. As Sax going in deep here onto Fish, trading out some poke on both of them.
I love how they're just willing to start scrapping already in the middle. I mean, by this point, we already seen a first blood. So if anything, this is things are looking peaceable right now. But yeah, we didn't really talk too much about the Ares pick. Someone that I loved. I love to see me some classics. And Ares is a classic, a tier 1 classic. So got to see what utility that can provide here. What's nice about the Ares in this case is there's no really massive burst gods that can like cracking you while you're slowed in your ult. Hold on, some big chains there. Nice job there. If he can keep on landing those just like that, Poststrom's gonna be in solid position. But if LDG Fish decides to just place that Divine Justice on you while you're ulting as Ares, could be some pretty big trouble for you. You are kind of a sitting duck while you're doing that, so you're gonna have to make sure that you're choosing your times wisely there as Poststrama.
Well, your timing also has to be quite unlucky if you do get Nem ulted the second you do ult, because, you know, Aries ult does not last that long before a cool, so it should be usually fine, but like you're saying, stripping away most of your defense is kind of rough.
And certainly, it also can be advantageous to LGDG Fish if you're finding yourself on the receiving end of those change, because then the next few seconds you're going to be protected, as you can only imagine the ensuing slaughter will begin from the members of Flourish who are going to try to follow up with what damage they can. And does seem that, once again, members of Wild Inferno looking to put some aggression here. Oh, in general, the jungle is looking to put some aggression once again onto the dual lane. Once again, though, the question is, Jeffrey, is that the wise play? Do we think, after not only seeing how things stacked up last game, but with the current god pool that we're looking at here, is it wise to focus your attention on the dual lane, mid lane, solo lane? Where are we looking?
Well, I don't know. I mean, ganking Ares as anyone is kind of hard, and Nemesis having 2 dashes, probably not your best choice. I think looking at LDG Fish here, you probably want to gank either Realty or A1 on cooldown. Both mages, so both being able to burst down quite quickly. I mean, Hera does have the shield when she presses free, and she can also throw Argus on you and just let Argus do everything for her. But I still think it's someone you can kill fairly easily.
Oh, nice steal there going to be provided from A1. Going to feel a bit salty about that right now as physics. I do agree that, in general, I think attention from both sides could be focused on the solo lane, and it would be well spent. If I'm a member of Flourish right now, I don't want to see physics get anywhere near the scary status he was before, but doing so right now, solid amount of poke. It's still a lane bully. Kakolin is still quite threatening in his laning phase, especially against a mage, going to be a bit more squishy. I imagine that the reason I've never actually seen a Tiamat go solo. I've seen Tiamat carry. I've seen a Tiamat mid, of course. But never Tiamat solo. I wonder if the reason they decided to go for this interesting double mage comp was to avoid stacking their teams with too many protections that can just be stripped away. And speaking of stripped right now, we're going to see that Kepler's going to be stripped right back into the middle of the lane. Chained up, fired down, Blaze Retribution will find that first blood. Dr. Killjoy will have the courtesy of that one right in his pocket. Nice job there by Flourish picking up that first blood.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, great ult by Post Drama there onto the Ares, hitting both of them. And of course, Capri does not have beats, so no way for them to get out of it. And especially if your Hunter does beats, that means all of the burst is coming onto you. Then Dr. Killjoy just pressing the ultimate button on a perfect timing, making sure the stun is there as well onto the Capri, and Capri will fall down for first blood. Great place.
And it's also just fantastic awareness that still level 4, you have this one moment to really make things happen. There's a big disparity in what you can do to a Capri. Obviously, had the Scare's Blessing been up, that wouldn't have been nearly as big of a problem, but became one, obviously, when you realize, hey, I can't res myself, I'm just gonna die.
Yeah, I mean, not hitting level 5 before, like you're saying, the Scarab's Blessing is not just there quite yet. So yeah, nothing to do about it. I don't think there's a world, as long as Flourish plays it like that, there's no world where Capri actually gets to live.
And I'm glad that they're hopefully gonna, like I said, mental game important. After that loss, you're not feeling too great if you're Flourish, but hopefully they're coming back in with a nice mental reset mentality. Say, hey, let's turn the tables here. Let's spell a different story out for ourselves. And if things keep on going like that, it's going to be a beautiful start for them. I'm really happy about that. But now Post Drama once again making magic work with these chains here, just wrapping them all on up. And if that can continue, it's looking to be a sorry situation here for members of Wild Inferno. What are they going to be able to do to nullify this Ares as a factor?
Well, I mean, like you were saying before yourself, I think the one thing you can really do about it is put a Nemesis ult on top of it, and this Ares will fall down like butter.
It's interesting that they picked the Ares into the Nemesis. They really must have a lot of confidence in Post-Drama's positioning and game awareness to put that in, because, like we said, Nemesis was picked quite early on when there was only damage dealers on the board. Tanks hadn't even been picked yet. So you might imagine that this is Post-Drama's pick saying, I feel comfortable going against a Nem on this. But maybe going to be in the trouble, speaking of, is right now a different jungler going to be found out by 4 members, going to quickly collapse. Wild Inferno going to disperse right afterwards. Going to make quick work there of Syzax, a bit too close to comfort in the enemy jungle.
Yeah, I mean, it must feel bad for you if you're SX here onto the Susanoo. I mean, ulting for the buff, not getting it, and then dying to 4 people. I think it was a bit of an overkill for Fish to actually ult there after Sex was basically confirmed that anyway as well. But I mean, that's just the devil in the details, right? A kill is a kill, and you're 1 for 1 again.
Certainly happy to have it go on there. Nice ruination gonna be found there. Gonna ward off the aggression there from Physics. Looking to scrap at the moment. A1 looking to be a bit worse for wear though as well. Rotation coming in here from Post Drama all the way from the left side. Not going to be able to quite find the awareness there from the Cocoon. Wait, hold on. Maybe not though. Shane's going to be in a moment. Nice leap there. The leaping salmon going to be able to find the escape. That was a bit risky though. Might need to invest in some wards there, friend. I thought he was a goner for sure.
Yeah, this is Immortal. We're not backing with shop open. I at least hope so anymore. That might only be the final challenger. So, yeah, I mean, Physics just saw Ares coming there and is fine as a Gold Fury. He's being pulled. It's not only being pulled, it's being bursted down like it's no one's business.
And not even enough positional awareness there from Flourish to get a mounted objective back on the Pyromancer side either. That's really... Actually, I don't think Pyromancer's up right now. That's really unfortunate. Down. Oh, wait, what? It's down?
Yep.
Wait, what? Oh, it's down, is it? Oh, I'm a dummy. All right, well then. Anyway, it seems that Flourish is going to be on the up and up there. Fantastic work on their part to just... Or, sorry, Wild Inferno. Man, I am losing it. Wild Inferno, any other team on them, Kingslayers here are going to do a great job getting that gold for themselves without Flourish being any the wiser. Unfortunate on their part. And that's just going to be a great little staking point for them to put themselves back in the lead on the gold and in the mental game.
Sure. Yeah, I kind of lost track of what you were trying to say with everything.
They got the Gold Fury and they're doing well.
That I do agree with. That's yeah. A1 here in the A1 in the solo lane, being quite low actually, having to retreat from the minion lane. Probably the right call as Fish was over there as well, so stepping up there would mean certain death. Great ward coverage, making sure that they do not step into it though.
And also, minions are pretty scary. If you saw the Smite God reveal on the Smite official channel there for the minion recently, God of something, pretty scary stuff there. The ultimate ability, quite a threat. So if you're a whole wave of them, don't even tell me about it. I got to retreat on out of there. A1 making the wise play to scurry on out of there.
Yeah, the April Fool's videos from Hyras never disappoint, do they?
No, absolutely not. That thing was awesome, man. I don't know. For me, Manticore still kind of topped it out, but they kind of made good on that one. So in hindsight, it's a bit of a retcon.
Yeah, although, you know, if anything, I think the Manticore that they released back then on the video is a more fun god than the one they actually put into the game right now.
He's Surtur and Manticore packed into one. He can just turn right into him. It's pretty dope. Can turn into the Gold Fury too. Get up to see right now, Dr. Killjoy putting on the big pressure onto Thockman Jones, but Thockman Jones still a level ahead. Feeling pretty comfortable with Cernunos. Have to see if that same pressure can be had, or if Dr. Killjoy recognized that, hey, I really can't be risking getting into these big solo engagements in case Thockman Jones does get the jump on me. Might want to ease up on the aggression here. As I do see Kepri maybe potentially looking for a little bit of a cheeky gank. No, I'm just going to offer this. Say, you don't mind if I take this, do you? Looking at the shield buff right now. Big rotation, though. LDG Fish coming on as well. Dr. Killjoy going to have to not be baited to the aggression, as we do see Post-Drama coming on over. It's now going to be a bit of a party here. 3 is a party, but what's 5? A bigger party. Post-Drama going to chain them all on up. Nicely done there. I think they might have been Wild Inferno got that shield buff, but it doesn't really matter when you're just being lit on fire. Post-Drama going to make that happen and back them all off.
Yeah, and I think Dr. Killjoy can of course play a bit more openly than last game. I mean, you literally just do not have the chance right now of a literal nuke coming your way. As last game you did with the Dance Bureau, so a bit more safety for the Ishtar here. So I do get why they are playing up a bit, even though they are falling down around half a level behind. Not that bad quite yet, of course, so you also do want to play up so you don't fall behind even more.
At this point in the game, I think Wild Inferno certainly had the bigger lead. Why did I say that? And as soon as I say that, Thockman Jones going to pick up the kill there onto Dr. Killjoy. Feels bad. The commentator's curse continues. I'm sorry, Dr. Killjoy. We're both sorry. Going to pick up that kill nicely there. Seems like Thockman Jones slating to be once again a threat, and Flourish might need to do something about it. Post-Drama looking to maybe say something, but caught up by herself. Divine Judgment down. Body blocked by this fat beetle. Going to try to ult on out there. Big pull. And Argus going to find some big damage. Typhoon to boot. Sizak's going to find one under the Kepri. Not able to get anything up. Colin trying to find the kill on a Post-Drama. Not going to succeed. Realty going to make it happen. Sizak's going to be able to shoot with their life. Hold on. LGG Fish looking to be a bit worse for wear. Going to be picked up there by the Soul Lander who rotate on over. A1. Nicely done job there. Sweeping it all on up. Flourish making a big comeback into this. Going to look for a Pyromancer to just add to the kills.
Yeah, I mean, killing 3 there, losing no one, pretty big. I mean, it really looked like Post-Drama was in a lot of trouble there, but getting the ult off, not really even caring about the Nemesis ult on top of you, because, well, like I said before, I
Yeah,
don't
screw
think
what I
Nemesis
said.
is that good. Well, man, I kind of disapproves it, because Ares just didn't die.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It like absolutely does. It was like literally him saying, "Screw you, D'Lo. You don't know what you're freaking talking about." And that was great awareness there from Realty too, that he's gonna make this happen. Let's just drop Argus right on their freaking heads. Fantastic work there. Is the Orisa with the bobble if we're playing some Overwatch, but we're not. We're playing Smite, and it seems that Flourish is playing it pretty well. Gonna be trying to turn this tail around. Still pretty even on the gold side, but you have to imagine that Flourish is thinking, okay, we can do this again. This is something that's certainly not too hard. You have two ults on off cooldown, the Hera and the Ares. You can make that happen. Gonna be interesting to see if they can try to strike lightning twice here once again, even though they don't have Zeus on their team. I have a question for you, Jeffrey. A1's a solo, but A1's a Tiamat. How do you
Correct.
build as a Tiamat here, as a Tiamat in the solo lane? Do you think you change it up, or do you think you keep the same mage style play?
You definitely want to go for the build they are going for right now. Except, ooh, hold that thought though, as Capri is being pulled back in here, might be in a lot of trouble. Change coming out, and
Oh my
there's
God.
Argus, and
Argus
you
gonna
know,
step on that bug like a fifth grader at the playground. Quite a big polymorph though. Hera's gonna see how that feels. Dr. Killjoy gonna be found out there by Thoughtman Jones. Gotta feel bad to be on the receiving end of that one again. Carry for support exchange, not one you're too unhappy about if you're the members right now of Wild Inferno. Gonna come up with the victory on that one. Having the big damage advantage is also gonna give them the chance at this gold if you're gonna crack it on down. Typhoon gonna come in, not gonna find it. They managed to drop it just in time, but hold on, Wild Inferno gonna be able to still pick it up. The engagement coming now on a Syzax going to be picked up there by Physics, who's made the rotation on over. A1's dropped the tower, but meanwhile, they're claiming souls here for Wild Inferno. Post-Drama going to be the next target. Ares not going to be able to get on and out of that one. He's got plenty of targets to look at, but all he can do is stare at them as they burst him on down. Thockman Jones, killing spree there, going to pick up their third kill. A1 just playing Farming Simulator.
yeah, sure. Oh, I mean, it's probably the right play to do on the Tiamat right now. You do want to get those damagey items up before you go into the defense. But then once you do, you kind of just one hit while not taking any damage, unless you get ulted by the Nemesis. So, yeah, I mean, probably the right play to just not meng into the fighter, especially if your team is winning that fight. Now,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Flourish could really say that they did win it, but at least they didn't quite lose it, right? It was pretty even.
I mean, Wild Inferno got Gold Fury as well as some kills on their side. If I'm a member of Wild Inferno, I'm certainly going back to my family saying, "Hey, I won that fight. Check it out. Check it out on the YouTube here." But right now, Flourish still by no means out of it. A1 getting a decent amount of farm to boot, now going to find a level over their opposition, and that's what you really want to see. Tiamats you oftentimes see, no matter what lane you're in, well, especially if you're in a carry lane or if you're in solo lane, they don't really do too much rotating because they need to farm up, like you said, to get those big damage value items on. You do see that the damage spikes are going to be coming, though, and once that happens, A1's going to be a threat, someone to certainly focus down. But Physics is already doing their job, and that's what I like to see. Physics is trying to make it happen again because that was the threat last game. Seems that taking away the Hercules didn't take away the danger.
Yeah, and we gotta talk about a cat in the room. The rough part, if you are Flourish right here, is the 3-level deficit onto the hunters.
Oh, I didn't even notice that. That is real rough.
Yeah,
One for each kill.
just lost your tower as well. I mean, Post-Ram is coming over here to help, but that's a level 16 Cernanos onto Jones. You don't get that. I think Jones might 1v2 there if he actually decides to go in. I don't even know what to do anymore if you to shut that man down. I mean, at least Sax have to come over if you want to make any chance. But Sax over here in the dual lane, actually, Typhoon coming out, and there's the post-trauma. Sorry, not post-trauma, there's Fish with their own ult, but now they're falling down very low as A1 does have those big numbers up. There's actually Sax coming back in. Sax living with that little HP as A1 gets himself another kill as well, and that's 2 for Owa. I really thought the Susanoo was going to fall down. No mana, no health, but they lived.
I don't think that was not a well-picked fight. A1 rotate over full health, looking really healthy there, and Physics and LGG Fish, rather than opting to try to retreat, cut their losses, which weren't even any losses, they opted to try to keep fighting and at least bring down one with them. Instead, they lose both. Are you going to pick that up? Please tell me you're going to pick that up. Come on, guys! Looking for more kills instead. You greedy bastards. Flourish going to just try to push it down this mid lane and opt to not get the entire purpose for the Pyromancer. I'm upset. Jeffrey's upset. Anthony's rolling over in bed right now, which is probably where he is, and this is just generally a bad time. But hold on, maybe it might be a bad time for the Kepri. Big CC chain found. The Wild Hunt will do a bit of damage to post-round and polymorph him, but Dr. Killjoy gonna find that kill on Anisha. Not gonna have any Kepri ults this time around. Gonna fall with it in pocket. That's not good if you're a member right now of Wild Inferno. Trying to retreat though. Post-round looking a bit worse for wear. Physics gonna lead the charge, but the nice Divine Onslaught gonna do some decent damage. Stun from the Rolling, or Mesmerize from the Rolling Thunder gonna provide a bit more interruption. Ruination, hold on, Spear Mortal Hatred looking for post-drama right now. Big roar, but the shield is going to come through in clutches. Post-drama is going to find that kill on a Physics. That's a bit ironic, given that's the one target he had in mind. That was way too much. That was way too much there from Physics. A bit of anime protagonist syndrome, unfortunately, that's been going around. Some people get a case of that here in the Smite Draft League. Physics going to find himself victim to it.
I think Physics was just confused with last game where he was absolutely able to do that. This game, you're 2 levels down. You're not that much being able to do that just quite anymore, as Zack's actually being forced to beat and use his ultimate, but it seems like Flourish will also confirm the gold for you after they just got Pyromancer as well. So that's 2 objectives once again.
Nice job there by Flourish here, really making themselves look like a well-oiled machine at the moment. And it's working out perfectly. Like you said, it seemed Physics might have not realized what happened. He's like, hey, why didn't I just tank everyone and body them 1v4? Not quite picking up what they're putting down here. Didn't understand the homework assignment. Physics might find themselves a bit outmatched here, as Tiamat's been fighting quite a bit of value. I want to throw credit, though, where credit's due. It was a great CC chain there from Flourish that really kicked off that massive team engagement, and they really couldn't respond to it. Did they even get the bomb? I think they did get the bomb. Okay, thank God. I was worried there for a second. They got the bomb there onto the Tiamat. That's what really matters here. Who even cares with the team fight? But no, they're doing a great job of following up off these great CC chains. Ares, too, much like a Nemesis, makes it pretty obvious what your chain of action here is. Chain. But it's true. It makes it very obvious. It gives you a clear flowchart, and they're making it work to perfection. Whereas Wild Inferno, you haven't really seen them engage too much anymore. The one times you see like those big collapses happening has been in these small jungle skirmishes, whereas in the 5v5s, the strategy's kind of fallen to the wayside a little bit.
Say, Dilo, do you want me to shatter your world?
Go ahead, please, please.
I think that bomb, they already had it. I think they didn't pick it up.
Oh, I think you're right, actually. You're right. They picked up Pyromancer earlier. Oh, dude, what the hell, man? That's just damn right shameful. I don't want to cast anymore. I'm out, guys. This has been Smite Draft League. Thanks for watching. No, we're going to keep on going. But definitely disappointing there. I mean, there's no excuse for it. It's just a shameful display.
I agree. I mean, I would match your energy right now if that wouldn't mean that I would get kicked out of my building for screaming at 5 a.m.
I'll be energetic enough for the 2 of us, friendo. But A1, hold on a second. Might not want to match the energy coming in from Wild Inferno. 3 men deep. Going to be looking for him. But going to retreat on back with their victory. We took a tier 1 tower against this beast of a Tiamat. Let's just try to escape with their lives, which, as we've said before, I think take those small victories in the back end. Only a bit, yeah, about 1,000 gold behind right now with Wild Inferno. Hold on, gonna make it a bit more as we do see Flourish gonna pick up a tier 1 in the dual lane side. Now maybe dancing around this Pyromancer, potentially even a Fire Giant. Systex might be caught out by themselves. No support here to boot. Gonna have to get on out of there thanks to the little handy Storm Cloud. But Pyromancer coming back up. Might be a Wild Inferno trying to beta engage off of this. But the members of Flourish are privy to it and rotating on in.
Pyromancer being pulled now by Wild Inferno. I don't see anyone really coming over to contest it, and they won't, as Wild Inferno will confirm it. I almost said Wild Confirmo, as 4-man ultimate by post-trauma here. I think that's 3 beats us.
Yeah, that's... Hold on a second. The damage, though, is going to find post-trauma return, but honestly, he's done his job because all the CC can just come onto them easily and provide full effect. Syzac's going to find a kill immediately. Red Wing and Nisha are going to fall. Physics going to find a return onto Syzac to get some revenge for their fallen brethren, but some solid damage coming in here from Dr. Killjoy. And now being separated from the team, Physics is going to have to do the roundabout, try to get on out of here. Polymorphed in, consumed, and dropped down by Argus, the real MVP of this Flourish team.
Yeah, Flourish is just looking like a 6-man team with August right now, and then also Tiamat having a lot of spawn-ins.
Oh my god, this is a handicap match right now, crazy. They got a power play going if you're a hockey fan, and A1's providing some bit more zoning capabilities there. That was fantastic job by Flourish. You might say, okay, bit of an over-engagement there from Post-Drama. I say nay, sir. Burned 3 beads, and what Wild Inferno didn't realize is they didn't need to use those beads. The other members of Flourish were actually a bit behind on the upkeep, and I don't think would have had too much follow-up had Wild Inferno been dragged in by the Ares. But the fear of it, after seeing these other combos be pulled off by the Ares, was enough to make them expend all their relics, and that allowed for Typhoon to have more impact. It allowed for Tiamat to have more impact. It allowed for all of them to have a lot more impact in the ensuing team fight. Post-Drama put their life on the line for the team.
As well, I mean, two support mains right here with each other on the cast, we can see the value in that, as supports usually can go very much undervalued. So I do very much like that you're giving so much credit to Post Trauma on the Ares here. But let's say, what do you think about Capri?
It's unfortunate. I love a Kepri. I love a little scuttly guy, but he's so far not providing the value because you see him dying too often with ult in hand. And the reason why that is, it's not Nisha's fault, but it's the fact that these CC chains are just too insurmountable for them to even have a chance to. And the times that we have seen that ult be expended, it's selfishly. Not that's a bad thing. Sometimes you need to use it to stay alive, but it's not what the value of the Kepri is. You want to be using that to save teammates, to save that carry. And right now, because they've been having to play on the bottom foot so much, they're being the ones engaged on rather than being the engagees. That's not good. You don't want that. You don't want that on, I'd say, a lot of these. This team comp in general, I don't think, has the most turn fight capability, whereas I think that Flourish has a bit more disruption, a bit more ability to turn a fight that's going poorly for them. So really they can engage and they can also disrupt a bit more easily. So while Kepri, I think, is good on paper, has not really been showing its purpose this game.
Yeah, and you must also give credit to the great decision making by Force as well for actually trying to burst down the Huckbuck first. So, well, if they do decide to ult, it has to be on themselves, not being able to save any teammates if you're dead.
Yeah, it's just solid planning, solid tactics, and solid execution of them, which is all you need really to have these team fights in your pocket. Flourish looking to make another one happen right here, and you can see, just as you said, Jeffrey, targeting the Kepri, and the ult will have to be used selfishly, but Ruination going to bring him down to low again. Post-Drama going to find that kill, scorching up a nice fried Scarab.
Yeah, well, that's a hot bug there, falling down in the flames of hell, and now the other flames are being chosen. It's actually the lava from the fire giant who is being looked at right now. Instead, it's actually physics in the background, but that's against 5body, and once again, you're not in last game. Ooh.
That's embarrassing. That's
Yikes.
embarrassing. Post-Drama, we were just talking you up, buddy. What happened? Now, unfortunately, it's a bit too late on the draw there with that chain, but at least you have a fire giant to your name potentially if you're able to get this off. Physics sitting at half health. Definitely has some potential to zone, but hold on, the other solo laner is saying, I don't think so, buddy. Primordial Onslaught going to be doing quite a bit of damage, as well as Ruination. With Tiamat, you can just spam these abilities off cooldown, and that's going to allow you quite a bit of area denial. A1 making full advantage of that. You can see, it's not really for the purpose of making sure to land them. It doesn't matter if you land them. The purpose is intimidation, and A1 knows that. Going to get a nice fire giant for all 5 members there. Flourish. Oh, nice.
Fish with
Big
a little
tower drop
split.
there.
Yeah, Fish with a little split push, but sadly it's only a tier 1, so I don't think you get much out of it. But oh, they got their back off just in time. Really looked like both A1 and Sax were almost on top of him. Yeah, Fish on this Nemesis being able to back just in time to live and to tell a tale another day. Speaking is very hot right now. It's yeah.
You're
it's
doing
late.
great, my friend. I think Jeffrey's doing a commendable job. But yeah, it's unfortunate there they weren't able to catch him on the back end. A nice little play there from LDG Fish. Nemesis not really meant for split pushing, but hey, if you can grab a tower for yourself and free of charge, you'll take it for sure. Wild Inferno, though, just not quite able to put their comp's idea in execution, which is, I'd imagine, to be the aggressors, maybe use that Kepriel for someone who maybe over-aggresses too much, or not even over-aggresses too much, but just receives the focus of fire. But right now, the only one receiving the focus of fire is Nisha. It's just brilliant target selection for the members of Flourish. And on the back end, Wild Inferno really can't do too much about it. Their comp's not meant for defense like maybe a Tiamat can provide when it comes to these tower defense situations. The Merlin can do a bit of damage, but it's certainly more meant to be burning someone down who's not nicely put still for you. Gonna have to just try to use the Dragon Breath, but hold on! 5-man pull! This could be huge! Divine Judgment gonna be placed down. A lot of ults there. We see the Typhoon also expended, but hold on! Flourish looking a bit low. Post-Trauma as well as Syzac's gonna have to retreat on back. Seems that the forces of Wild Inferno were actually able to deny that engagement. And you see the relics on Wild Inferno just eliminated. It's just a dark screen there for them all. All the beads burned there. Flourish gonna have to make the next engagement really count. If you're the Ares especially, Post-Drama probably gonna look for that same exact play. Excellent job there. Once again, Post-Drama putting their life on the line to make sure their team can have success in the following engagements.
Yeah, and it's very satisfying to see those relic timers being pulled down all at the same time. All the 129, 28, 27 seconds right now on both beats, and then also the Aegis for Merlin.
It's not looking good for them right now because rather than I honestly thought Flourish might completely retreat, but Fire Giant buff, I'm a dummy, is going to just heal you right back on up. So they're looking to be in a solid position here. Syzac's maybe looking to do some cheeky movement here. LGG Fish going to be privy to that, though. Just going to wrap around after getting that tier 2 tower over on the solo side. Now going to look for all the other ones that are still up across the map. Mid tier 2 going to be looked at now. And you have to imagine as Wild Inferno, you need to choose your battles wisely. And tier 2 is definitely not a wise one. But hold on a second. Going to maybe step to it. Post-Drama, not having ult up quite yet. Maybe they are aware of that, but it could come up at any second. That's a risky business right there for you. Going to find chains onto only one at the moment. Going to unfortunately miss the one with the big Terra Beetle. Hold on, Divine Judgment going to find Syzac, but going to be able to retreat on out of there just fine. Spear Mortal Hatred also not going to find its mark, and Primordial Onslaught will be met in response. Wild Inferno going to chase off the members of Flourish, but it doesn't seem like it was out of their own damage. It seems like they're more interested in some more objectives here, just going to lengthen their lead. Safe objectives are smart objectives here. While Flourish is looking to not really pick a fight, I actually kind of agree with that.
Yeah, Flourish is Wild Infernoing it, not picking any fights and just, well, going for the safe option right now. Does mean you're slowly losing your lead in levels, of course, as everyone is starting to hit level 20. And the next step is, when is everyone going to be full build?
Quite soon at this rate for Flourish. They just have quite a bit of golden pocket. All the members retreating on back, opting to, sacrifice their Fire Giant fights for instead some safe golden pockets, some better itemization. And you can see, when it comes to the gap of itemization, you have Ares, who's I think nearly full build, whereas Kepri's 2 full item slots behind, looking really rough in comparison. And Post-Trauma, obviously, Ares not going to have the most impressive stat line, but really has been the glue of this team. This Ares was something they had a lot of confidence in going against this Nemesis, and it's proven to work to dividends right now. Zoning off seems to be going to be in charge of the front lines here as we look for this Fire Giant dance.
We look for the Fire Giant dance indeed, and I said it in the beginning of the game, and maybe for this time I'm finally right about it for once. I don't like Nemesis. I think if you put a better, maybe like a bit more CC heavy jungler onto this team, like a Humbats, for example, I think you're doing just straight up so much more.
Ooh, you're gonna find some change. I'm not gonna lie, I still like Nemesis, but you're right that it's not executing and performing to the extent that you want it to. If you remember Wild Inferno right now, I do think there are other pieces though too in the comp that are just not quite working out here. I think Thok is their one saving grace still, because he's still putting up decent damage and having some really solid disruption when it comes to these wild hunts. They've been really on point despite being on the back end, so I must throw credit to Thokman Jones where credit is due. What's really not firing off, though, is this Kepri being eliminated from the fight, always Earth. And you don't want to be peeling for your support. You want the support peeling for you. But it seems like that's just going to be the tale as old as time at the moment. Chain's going to miss, though. Could be important for this engagement. Fire Giant looking quite low. Flourish going to be able to pick that one up, and this is going to only mean devastation for Wild Inferno. Diving on in is A1. Solid damage once again. The ult going to be used expended selfishly there by the Kepri, but does not matter. Realty going to pick up that kill as well as one on the physics. Frontline been eliminated. Ruin Nation gonna find your team, as well as Thokman Jones gonna be dropped there by Syzac. It's a full-on slaughter here as Flourish move on down solo lane for the Phoenix. Excellent engagement from them.
Excellent engagement indeed, going for the bird right now. And we're in the same scenario as last game. There's still one tower, it's on the complete other side. Looking like they might go for a second bird here first instead. Yeah, Bomb will fall down with it as well. But will they go for a Titan call, or are they gonna play it safe? Seems like for now they're gonna play it safe and just go for the tier 2 and maybe another bird.
It's a Freaky Friday situation, man. They're going for the safe plays, whereas Wild Inferno last game, we saw them really dipping into the aggression pool. But right now, Flourish making it work just as Wild Inferno did last game. Gonna drop every structure on the map, save for one bird to your name here if you're Wild Inferno. But hey, one's better than none.
Yeah, and the keyword there is yet, as they are kind of eyeing it. So maybe,
It does look
maybe
tasty.
the last bird might fall down themselves as well. But for now, it seems like Flourish is backing off a bit, and they keep on playing it safe.
A1 gonna do his best Kukulkan impression there. You have a Kukulkan, so it's pretty close on the other side, but not gonna quite find too much damage there. Just really more for. Oh, hold on a second. Don't be risky. Come on, man. Never, never, never throw your stuff away like that. A1's gonna be fine. I don't even have to expend any relics, but just. I don't like to see that. I never like to see that. Always make sure you're playing it safe. You've just that's literally been your MO, your team's MO this entire time. Don't throw it away for a simple lazy back.
Yeah, I must agree. Luckily, no one died in the end, but the danger is there, and you gotta be careful with that. Not only do you die at this point if you get caught with that, you also lose your Fire Giant. So luckily for them that no one died.
Gonna pick up the Oni Fury there, and that's just gonna be some more powerful minions that are wooded up, coming down towards your Titan. You're not happy to see that if you're Wild Inferno. At this point, all they can do is turtle, but like we've said, their comp's not meant for turtling. If I'm diving in and you place a Divine Judgment on me, I'll just say, okay, back away, and now the Divine Judgment's just gone for the next fight. What do? You have to try to wait for them to collapse too deep into you so they can't even get out and before using that Divine Judgment, but that's a really precise timing to use there, and by that time, you're probably already chained up, whipped back up into the enemy team, and brought down to 0 health.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing I would like to see Wild Inferno do here is if Flourish decides to go all in onto this Capri again, just immediately answer back with going all in yourself. Throw the Wild Hunt there. By the time, if they actually all go for Capri, you can hit at least 3 of them at the same time. And maybe you can do something back by bursting them down instead.
And we see here leading the charge, the little mini Children of Creation coming in here as well. Wild Inferno, they haven't played all their cards yet, but that deck's looking mighty thin at the moment here. Gonna try to loop around the back. This time, A1's the split pusher. Ruination finding big damage on LDG Fish. Hold on a second. Big damage indeed. Primordial Onslaught gonna do quite a bit. Divine Judgment's been used. Protections have been shredded. A1 gonna have to use that Aegis defensively to make sure they get on out of that situation alive. Phoenix still at decent amount of health. Runic Bomb, though, gonna ensure that's dropped with the quickness. A1 a bit by herself right now. Could get caught out there. Could get caught lacking there by Kakolan. Kakolan wisely, Physics gonna realize other people are coming over. I'm gonna leave. So Flourish gonna retreat on back. They got their bird. No kills on the board, but all the Phoenixes are wiped out.
Yeah, and honestly, at this point, you'd rather have the bird down than a kill. I mean, having both of them kind of just secures you the win, so that would have been completely ideal. But getting that third Phoenix down, also making sure Titan doesn't heal after the other two respawn, just in case you lose another fight, is pretty big.
Ooh, I don't know if I agree with this at all. They're feeling confident because they saw Flourish trying to back, so they know they want to go back. I don't think that necessarily makes this the wise decision. Physics is pretty low already. Ishtar can poke from quite a bit of a distance. But hold on, pulled back into Sysax. Flourish once again, somehow going to manage to grab that. Dr. Killjoy getting a rolling thunder on in, and Kepri's going to be the one to fall. Losing a support and your Fire Giant. That's just got to feel horrible right now for Wild Inferno. I think they got a bit too big for their britches. They saw Flourish on the back end. They saw them trying to retreat. They said, oh, we must have the advantage. You still don't. They're still way ahead of you.
Yeah, and it's an EFG, not nonetheless. So these Phoenixes have respawned, but they will also probably instantly fall down as in the mid lane here, after Argus being dropped down on Physics, Sux gets a double kill for himself.
Thanks, Argus, for the delivery of that. Very nice and easy. Gonna, yeah, unfortunately fall to the dot there. The shield just wasn't quite enough for LGT Fish to live that one out. And now gonna be just trying to hook it right into this Titan. Realty gonna find a kill. A1, all the mages are eating. And wow, quickly did that Titan fall. Excellent job there from Check's cheat sheet. That was Flourish. Good job. See you at the desk.
Smoked before I met you. Now I chain smoke the way I like to kiss you.
Hello everyone, welcome on back in. If you just saw the same thing I just did, I said the right name. I'm pretty impressed with myself. You should be too. Jeffrey, how are we feeling after that Flourish victory?
Well, we're feeling very confident for game 3. Right now, it's actually Flourish who are in the driving seat, of course. Can they ride on this momentum and actually take the entire set, or will Wild Inferno take it back? That's the big question right now. To change things up, I mean, I've said it time and time again, but I want this Nemesis out of here. I think anyone else could have made a bigger impact. I also want physics back on maybe a bit more prevalent character. I've I felt like they just thought they were still Hercules and they could still run in everywhere, and they just kind of, in words like Cosmic Warrior likes to say it, turbo inted and died for it a few times. Red Wings, you just did your you did your job like you always do. Like, you're just a solid player. You never are the big guy, but you also never play bad. So good on you. Yeah,
I think the unfortunate aspect, and we talked about it a little bit during the game, was the support difference there between Post Drama and Nisha. Nisha just didn't bring the utility that you really want from a Khepri. You want to see, I don't think I saw one not self-used revive. And yes, it kept you alive for a second, even longer, before another wave of damage just got dropped on your head. I don't think I ever saw the Khepri actually ever survive a Scarab's Blessing engagement where it was used on themselves. It always was just shortly after. It just extended your life a little bit. It's almost like a shield that they might as well have been using, because it just brought you a little bit more time. Post Drama, meanwhile, was really making it happen, understanding that their life was not too high of a price to pay for these massive team fight engagements. And I'm debating, honestly, whether it's not as worth the whether it's not as worth the target ban, because normally I'd say don't ban out something that's not meta unless that's the piece of the machine that's making it work. I feel like, honestly, Post Drama independently was making the Ares work. It was no one propping him up. He was really making it happen. A self-made millionaire right there.
yeah, for sure. Post Trauma played very well, and also I think Wild Inferno kind of played into the cards with an Ares maybe grouping up a little bit too close to each other at times. I mean, the fact that he
Good
got
point.
able to pull off a 5-man ult is just something that shouldn't happen when you're playing against an Ares.
That's very true. Yeah,
So
they really got to watch their positioning. And their positioning, I felt like, was so much better last game. So that really is unfortunate to see that turn on their heads. But you're absolutely right. Against an Ares especially, you need to be aware of that stuff.
yeah, so that's something we would like to see them take care of in game 3, but we do get a game 3, which I am for the first time this season actually not happy about. But hey, it's still exciting. So let's hear from you into the game 3.
This so easily falls apart. 'Cause damn, you still fucking have my heart. And all I have is another of your cigarettes lit, but not a single fuck left to give. I could explode, I feel like gasoline when you're mad at me. Lit a match in the wind, so I'm asking please. I try to cope, go through the motions, no, I got a noose around my throat. Fuck, I love you, but I know that I should let you go. Situations got me pressed and I'm on overload. So
Hello and welcome on back. Game 3, Week 6, Immortal Division. This time we're switching it back up. They're trying to make it as difficult as possible for us to remember the names here. On the side of order, we have Wild Inferno here, coming off fresh off a pretty nasty defeat there on the Chaos side. Flourish looking to try to round this one out, ride that wave to momentum straight to victory. I'm D-Lo, joined by sleep-deprived Arc Jeffrey. Jeffrey, how we feeling?
Me.
Getting his memes in right now, but hold on. Don't sleep just yet, friend. We have a return of the Habwa jungle.
Well, we liked that very, very much in game 1, and hey, it's not Nemesis, so I'm happy.
Yeah, a big change there. Hopefully gonna see that return of the really textbook there aggression from Wild Inferno. Gonna be hopefully be put back onto this team comp, but knowing potentially what they're gonna be looking for. Once again, Hercules priority ban there. Does not seem that Wild Inferno has the same priorities in mind when it comes to target banning out the team comp that they had before. And they might pay for it because they're just looking to run it back right now.
Yeah, both the Tiamat and the Ishtar instantly being locked in, not even thinking about it, just 2 insta-locks. So Flourish is being very, very confident. Although I do think with 1 or 2 change-ups, I think Wild Inferno is making a big chance and a big shot to actually do something back here. And I'm wondering, are we gonna see the instant run back Merlin here?
Yeah, well, my question is, do you in this case do you adjust your own comb to match what they brought last game? Interesting. See, wow. Okay, so we're really bringing things back. Now going to be trading out we're sticking with the Cernunnos as Thawkman Jones is god of choice here rather than Danza, which is not going to be banned out. Interesting there. Maybe going to think that the Cernunnos has a better chance against whatever comp that they're going to be cooking up right now on the side of Flourish. But the question is, do you build your comp to fight that one, or do you counter ban out that comp and not even allow them to have it as an option?
I think you just are confident in your own ability. You just misplayed one match by also picking the not best characters, and I think both Athena and Hebwa being picked up already is two big improvements over last game. So I think they have the ability to beat it, and the Sunanos just makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, if anyone on uh, Wild Inferno was beating their lane opponent, it must have been Jones, who was 3 levels ahead of Dr. Killjoy at one point, even though they were losing the game quite badly. So I can see why you rerun the Sunanos here.
No, I definitely agree. Thawkman Jones, like we said, is I think the rising hero of the members of Wild Inferno, going to try to bring that magic back here in game 3, seeing if it works well with the Habwa as well as the. I will say, what I like about Danzaburo is the potential for the amazing Defender of Olympus rocket combination. Being a rocket man is real nice when you have that insurance policy of the Athena that's going to come crashing down as well. Cernunnos has mobility, but not quite the same amount of burst mobility as you do, and certainly not the distance that you have with the Danzaburo. So something to keep in mind there. But Cernunnos by no means is a slouch when it comes to their own abilities, and certainly unique ones with the mass polymorph that can happen. So hopefully going to be some good taunt combinations being seen here from Wild Inferno. Meanwhile, a bit of a change up here. The Guardian of Choice now for Flourish is going to be the Ganesha.
Yeah, the elephant. We've not seen the elephant all that much. I mean, we see it from time to time, but it's not on the top of the meta. But I do kind of like it. I mean, the pillars are just the pillars. And by the way, I do want to say I do very much hope it is going towards the support. We have seen a Ganesh jungle, believe it or not, before in this season.
Well, that would be a bit gross. I don't think game 3 is the time where you start futzing with things. You don't have anything to play with right now. This is for all the marbles, all the balls in the bin, because right now they're looking at a game 3 scenario here, tied all up. I normally like Ganesha. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't like it so much here just because I think that a large amount of value that Ganesha brings. All right, I will say this is nice. Pillars can certainly provide some really nice ruination combinations, just automatically locking you in a little box to lock you in a smaller triangle, to lock you in a smaller triangle. That's some geometry wars right there. But what I don't like is there's not a lot of channel abilities to cancel out. Granted, if they do decide Wild Inferno to be the aggressors in these fights, Athena's engagements are very obvious. Ganesha can easily ohm you out of your taunt if you decide to dash on in.
Yeah, I do agree. And by the way, one thing I want to point out, what I find very interesting here is actually the Acne being banned out instead of the Merlin. They kind of invite Red Wings to just pick Merlin once again, by the looks of it, by banning out the one other god that I have seen them play so far this season. Um, I don't know. I just wanted to point it out real quick. I think that's interesting.
No, that is interesting. It's telling Wild Inferno, go ahead, pick Merlin. We clearly don't see him as a threat. And that's not necessarily a slouch to Red Wing, because like you said, Red Wing's been doing his job. But it's showing that they're not worried about him being the one to look at. And honestly, given the history right now, that's not the most unfair stance to take here because, like we've said, Red Wing's been doing consistent, been doing solid, but not been doing outstanding. Can you see that will be a change of pace though for the Persephone? Going to be rocking in the mid lane here. We're sticking with a lot of Greek gods.
Yeah, a lot of Greek gods indeed, and one Babylonian, of course, with the Ishtar. But what do you mean? A lot of okay.
I meant for what they're playing here, the Hera and it's Hera and Persephone.
Right.
Oh yeah, no, this is a full Babylonian and Hindu matchup here. No, by no means. They got the diversity rocking here. I appreciate you trying to throw it to me though. Yeah, they do. Wait, what are you freaking talking? No, they're switching from Hera to Persephone though. We're going across the pantheon. We're doing the Greek pantheon any percent speed run.
Yeah. Well, it's been a while since I've seen the plant lady in professional play, so gonna be a bit excited for that. I mean, how excited can I be right now? But Poseidon for Red Wings here as well is something new this season, at least. Do believe I casted them last season with a Poseidon pick, but I have not seen it in quite a while, so I'm excited for that one as well, as another off Pentium pick gets hovered here with the Gilgamesh.
Could be a problem here. Must be noted is Persephone's 3, which is damage immune, can really evade that solid amount of burst damage, and also can, if well timed enough, which is difficult to pull off certainly, but that Anvil of Dawn can become a non-factor. So you have to make sure as the Persephone that you're timing that well. Man, really looks like we are going Babylonian here with the potential Gilgamesh. However, I haven't seen one of those at all this season. That would be freaking awesome. But yeah, Thor, Poseidon gonna round out that comp, and I like this a lot. It's really setting you up for some massive damage plays no matter who's got an ult on board. Poseidon's got ult, Athena taunt into Kraken. You have Hobble ult online, Athena taunt into Crashing Wave. Wild Hunt, taunt. It's so many potential combo trees here that are all incredibly effective in disrupting and killing. So I actually really like the multiple options they have here. But when that happens, like I said before with the Nemesis, you have to make sure that you're cohesive with it, that you're all communicating who the targets are when it comes to that flowchart. Don't get too complicated now. Make sure to keep it simple as possible while at the same time remaining effective.
Yeah, I do agree. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, these are your picks for your confirmed last game, as we do go to game 3 here. Is there anyone you would give it to, Dilo?
I just like the burst potential here. I like the burst potential a lot from Wild Inferno. I think they're returning to some familiar things while at the same time keeping them a bit on their toes on the side of Flourish. I'm going to toss it their way. What are your thoughts, Jeffrey?
No, I must agree with you, but that's boring, so I'm gonna go for Flourish here.
And thus we are bound for a fight to the death here. Me and Jeffrey are gonna have to fight this one over though. But there's only one way to find out who's actually gonna be able to take it all, and that's by going to game 3. Let's get this game wrapped up and let's get Jeffrey some sleep. We'll see you all on game 3.
I don't wanna feel as cold as the winter. Let me sink into your bedroom floor. Lovely how lonely we are together. Crazy how I hold on for a little more. Drive into the night. I miss you sleeping. Where did you go? As soft as you're breathing. You left me alone, and I miss the late nights. So where did you go? 'Cause you were my safe ride. Now I drive alone. Don't hit like they used to. Never as high as it was when I'm with you. So I drink to cope, it's an issue, okay. New Year's Day, so now it's a new me. Tell me why I'm so fucking lonely. I don't know why you won't love me the same. Drive into the night. I miss you sleeping. Where did you go? As soft as you're breathing. You left me alone, and I miss the late nights. So where did you go? 'Cause you were my safe ride. Now I drive alone. I miss you sleeping. As soft as you're breathing. You left me alone. I miss the late nights. 'Cause you were my safe ride. Now I drive alone. I miss you sleeping. Where did you go? As soft as you're breathing. You left me alone, and I miss the late nights. So where did you go? 'Cause you were my safe ride. Now I drive alone.
Welcome on back, everyone. Week 6 Immortal Division game here. Wild Inferno looking to take it. Flourish looking for the same thing, though. Game 3 here. I'm D'Lo, once again joined here by Jeffrey. Jeffrey, as we get into things here, one thing we didn't get to really talk about here, Gilga jungle on Syzax, an unconventional pick that I've never seen before at all. I haven't seen a Gilga in any lane, much less the jungle. What are your thoughts on that pick to round it out?
I've seen it before. Didn't like it.
Well,
I think it's better than Nemesis, but it's definitely not good. Nonetheless, but hey, maybe they're just cooking. I mean, this is the last week before playoffs, so cooking stuff up to actually play in playoffs is not a bad thing to do. So I don't know. You tell me, Dilo.
I can't. I quite literally can't because I've never seen it. I'm gonna assume because it's the team that I'm not rooting for right now. That's bad and it's terrible. It's not gonna work. He's gonna actually go 0-8 right now.
Okay.
Syzax, prove me right. Come on now. Nah, I'm sure Syzax will employ many tools as possible to keep that train going for themselves. Right now, something interesting though that we don't normally see is a Thor in the solo lane right now being used on a physics. Now, this I think is definitely a departure. We talked about how Cullen, we didn't really like it because compared to the Hercules, wasn't really doing the same job. Thor definitely not going to be doing the same job as a Hercules, looking more so to spank rather than to tank. What are your thoughts on that change up and how that's going to be prevalent here in the team comp of Wild Inferno?
Well, I don't know what games you've seen, but I've seen quite a few tools into the solo lane actually, even more than into the jungle as of late. It just has, well, decent wave clear. It has great rotation ability, and also I don't know what I'm saying, but it's good.
It's good. This is going to be the best game of all time here. As we were running on fumes here, but Wild Inferno and Flourish hopefully have a bit more left in the tank. Going to be looking here for the shield buff, a bit of action scrapping on over. But hold on, meanwhile, on the other side, Solo here, trying to ride the wave on out. Both water gods looking a bit dried up at the moment. Going to have to try to peel the best he can. LGG Fish going to do a great job to get the aggression off of Red Wings there. Red Wings, it must be noted there, they really were trying to bait him to go into the Merlin. We completely forgot about that whole story arc there. But Red Wings saying, no, I'm going to show you got other gods in my pool. Almost dying for it, though, instantly. All on aggression being switched on. Not really quite sure to put the Oman post-drama. Not going to be able to find the kill for their carry. Some solid damage, though, onto Thok. And it's going to have to see if this is going to be able to keep the Sudunos back under on the foray. But hold on, Physics going to, meanwhile, pick up first blood for Wild Inferno. I think every single game's been a switch up. Wild Inferno got it first time. Flourish second time. Wild Inferno putting it back under their name. A nice solo kill there for the Thor.
Yeah, Thor good.
Yeah, Thor good. I'm going to try to prove it right now. Anvil of Dawn taking to the skies. Syzax might be in a bit of trouble here. Not seeming to realize what's happening. Look out, buddy. He's up in the skies. Going to find a decent amount of damage there. Hydro Cannon, double tap. Not going to be an issue there. LDG Fish with the kill. What are your thoughts on that one, Jeffrey?
Thor good.
I agree. Gonna continue on out there. Solo lane looking pretty solid there for the Thor at the moment, proving me wrong. Physics gonna try to make it happen on one of these more hyper damage gods. Hold on, more damage coming in. Beads a bit late there. Ruination gonna find a stun, gonna be able to peel away. At the very least, you walk away with your life, A1 this time.
Thor good. Yeah, no, I do agree. I mean,
time, buddy.
I mean, yeah, I just got proven right. Thor is very strong right now into the solo lane. And great users as well. I mean, clearing those last 2 minions to hit 5, not even waiting for a split second to just instantly press 4, go up into the sky, and go onto the Gilgamesh, who was not expecting to be dunked on this early
Certainly
into
not.
the game.
He was like standing still, bro. He like did not realize what was happening. Like it's a cartoon character that doesn't that sees the meteor crashing down towards them. Hold on, crashing up though. Syzax gonna be feeling the wrath of that Kraken real quick. Red Wings though not gonna be able to find the kill, unfortunately, on with it. You just gotta hope that if you're the Poseidon right now, you're trying to farm up, get ready for those rotations from the Athena, and that's where your time is, when you have those taunt Kraken combos. But right now, Red Wings just trying to put the fear of God in them at the moment, at the very least, making them fear the option of the Kraken, recognize, hey, that damage is still there even without the Athena taunt. It certainly is, my friend.
Yeah, it definitely is. I mean, if you get a good cripple, no one is gonna really stop you from pressing 4 on top of them.
And there's a lot of actually things to cripple now that I think about it.
There sure is. It's not a bad pick at all, the Poseidon. Ooh, if that stun goes off there, I think Red Wings for the win is in a lot of trouble.
I just like, it's just like the father from that 70s show, just like actually putting his foot up his ass right there. Gonna give him a bit of a kick. Red Wing says, I want to go back to the fountain. He said, or back to the tower. He says, here, I'll get you there a bit quicker, buddy. Gives him a little boost there. Syzax, such a kind man. Very nice of him there. Physics, meanwhile, Syzax, Jesus. Gonna try to keep up this aggression. Children of Creation gonna be burst down there by the Berserker's Mirage. Thor is an early game monster. Tiamat needs to farm on up. Have to imagine Physics is going to be making some really early rotations, and A1's going to have to make up for that in the late game presence.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I'm not quite sure, as Thor does obviously have a very much better rotation ability as well with having the semi-global ultimate. So I do actually prefer a Thor into the team fights here over TM-up. But it will also depend how they go build-wise, as Thor is actually opting to go to the Transcendence here. It will give you cooldown as soon as it's well finished stacking, but not necessarily what I would have done.
But it doesn't matter because Thor good. So that doesn't really
Thor
matter.
good.
As long as Thor remains good, then you're good. Right now, a big rotation coming in here from Post-Trauma, as well as both jungles. Get a retreat on safely. Post-Trauma is not really a threat to the Hobble at the moment. A failed buff invade, but at the very least, you skip with your lives, and your friends are still in tow. You're going to be happy about that for Wild Inferno. Still 2 kills up.
Yeah, for good. Yeah. And as well as, even though they looked to be in a bit of trouble earlier, it's actually Red Wings who is looking at a little bit of a level lead as well on top of Realty already. Realty hitting 8 now as well, but I think that's about half a level.
That's not boding well if that continues up there. What I'm looking forward to, though, is seeing if there's more aggression here in this dual lane side here between the 200s. We've seen them popping off before. Solo kills plenty, so I'm curious to see if Dr. Killjoy has learned a lesson, because in these laning phases, Dr. Killjoy has never been the one to grasp the upper hand. It's always been the later game. Well, always. In the one game where Dr. Killjoy did end up getting the dub, it's been that team fight engagements where Ishtar's value, or Dr. Killjoy's value in general, came online. Let's see if he's going to try his hand at one more 1v1, but Cernunos with the innate sustain, I do think has the advantage.
Yeah, I mean, it also comes down towards the starter items, which in this case, for 1v1ing, I do think Dr. Killjoy has a little bit of the advantage building-wise so far.
Death Toll going to be coming in clutch. They're going to provide
Neither of them have Death Toll.
It's... What? What is that? I knew it, sorry. What is that?
Yeah, so Jones went for Gilded Arrow, and Ishtar has Lever Cowl.
That's a cowl. I'm tripping right now. I was about to say, hey, what is...
I thought it was 6 a.m. for me, dude. Like, what's going on?
Dude, I couldn't see him wearing the hood, man. That's crazy. They need to make these items physically present on the gods, otherwise I can't tell the difference at all. Gonna make him look like a fool there, but maybe looking a little bit of a fool himself as he's turned into a pig. Syzax gonna have to retreat on back, a failed gank in tow, but at the very least put some pressure on the Sunos, and when your Thoughtman Jones is underneath the tower, you're pretty happy as the Flourish team.
Ooh, those little silences must be very annoying as you have to charge your dash completely again on Athena, but now double taunt. Not getting any follow-up for now though, but hey, still showing your presence.
Exactly, he's letting me know. Hey, something could have happened there in an alternate universe right there. I crack into, well, not I crack into you, but someone else cracking you, and it hurt a lot. But at the very least, letting him they're getting some practice down, making sure they know how to use that taunt button still, that it's working. They're gonna be kicked into a wall for it there. I will say, I'm already liking this Athena pick way more than the Kepri pick. I already feel like it's proving its value. It hasn't obviously been from any major engagements, but it's solid nonetheless. Hold on, Sununos has used his dash right there. Pillar's gonna be dropped on him. Bede's gonna be used to try to just get on out of there with this quickness. Rolling Thunder, not gonna find the mez. Solid route there to get yourself out of the pressure. Gonna be able to escape there as Thoughtman Jones. Despite what I thought was a really rough situation. But hold on, I'd be rough for it now for Dr. Killjoy. Late feeds, but gonna be able to evade the crushing wave. Water cannon's gonna find him. But excellent body blocks there. Post-drama gonna get the rare Ganesh kill.
Yeah, no one close enough to actually accept it. So yeah, it is indeed a very rare kill, but it's actually Thor all the way from the solo lane over here with Physics. Getting the dunk down, but not quite a kill as Post-drama is already very tanky. Cernunos ulting themselves a bit scared.
This is looking a bit rough. Taunted in the tower. Solid damage on a Syzax. That thing lasted forever. The winds are going to come out here, but the winds of Shimok are not going to be able to do quite much there off the return. Syzax already has fallen. Thor is indeed good. Thor is providing some solid rotations here, and meanwhile, Tiamat, just like last time, is just going to be farming away in the lane.
Yeah, I wasn't sure when Physics actually decided to land on top of Post-drama there, what they were doing, but with the taunt on the tower and then the instant wall, getting a kill onto Sex, I mean, that rotation was worth it for you just off that alone. Does get very close to losing tower, but not losing it completely definitely makes that rotation worth.
They might be able to get the kill over here, and unless you see, do you see LDG Fish is coming for your friend? Gonna find some solid poke there. Nice half health already. I gotta throw some credit on the Post Rama though. Post Rama able to turn a really bad situation into at least a somewhat win for them, taking out Thockman Jones. That was fantastic. Not gonna, or actually, who was it? LDG Fish. Apologies.
Yes.
Taking out LDG Fish, I believe, with that really solid removal of obstacles, gonna just make their time in tower a little bit worse for wear. Gonna be able to get one more tower shot off and find once again that rare Ganesh kill. Excellent job. Still going to be an overall engagement that's going to swing to Wild Inferno's favor, but hey, at the very least, you're putting yourself on the board.
Yeah, I mean, putting yourself on the board is not the most important thing on a Ganesh, but it's still important that the jungler from Wild Inferno fell down there. As now Dr. Killjoy in a lot of trouble, Taunt coming in and...
Turn into a
Will
pig,
fall
turn
down.
into bacon
Yeah.
strips right there. Thockman Jones, once again, making it happen. This time not the solo kill, but nonetheless, a kill into Cernunos' pockets is a dangerous thing.
Gold Fury being pulled now as well. It's already around half HP. Both teams, of course, very much aware as it will get leashed Wild Inferno style, but hey, they got Sax's ult out of it, so that's worth it in their book.
Yeah, for sure. And they're just looking to maybe potentially bait some more because they're hanging around. Post I'm going to receive a bit more poke for your pleasure. Sizak's looking to hang around, maybe try to make something happen. But hold on, Thor taking the skies. But there's not really much follow-up off this. Can't really imagine much will come off of it. Going to be removed as an obstacle. Hold on, wall coming through. Never mind, the follow-up was indeed there. Combinations of the ults there. Crushing Wave going to find the kill onto the Post drama. But they still have some decent presence. Everyone collapsing on in. Dr. Killjoy coming in. A1 making the rare rotation on over as well. But it's a bit too little too late. It seems that they've already called for the disengage. A1's wasted that time.
Time has been wasted and gold has been spilled as the Gold Fury also did fall down towards Wild Inferno there. So yeah, getting a kill on top of the Ganesh as well as confirming the Gold Fury for themselves. Getting a pretty secure lead right now. It's around 3k XP, 2.5k gold. You know, not too shabby.
We're definitely going to take that. Trying to make an engage on a Thockman Jones here, but I don't think that's going to be able to do it for a full frontal assault on someone who's 2 levels ahead of you. And Wild Inferno is going to continue to lengthen this right now. Going to grab a nice runic bomb for their services here for their trouble. Going to grab the Pyromancer. Now maybe going to grab a nice cheeky kill on A1. Some solid damage there with Berserker's Barrage, and not going to be able to kept in place. The Ruination, unless you have some additional CC to help you out, is not going to be doing much.
Little taunt coming out here on Post Rama. No really follow up just yet. I mean, I like that. I mean, Kraken wasn't up to begin with, but also don't just Kraken the elephant when he's alone. That's a bit of a waste, isn't it?
I certainly would agree. You want to make sure Poseidon is it's like a Loki in a sense, not obviously in the complete playstyle, but in the fact that you need to save your burst for value target. You need to make sure that if you're dropping that thing, you're either getting a ton of pressure or getting the kill. A1 might be getting one on himself at the moment. Crushing Wave going to do actually not too much damage, but going to be taken down nonetheless. The Consume is not going to do nearly enough. LDG Fish going to be good for that one. 7-1. The lead has been lengthened. Looking to be in a bit of trouble right now. Is Flourish on this dual lane side as well, dashing on in. Thockman Jones going to just be suffice to grab a Bastion, some extra golden pocket.
How does he do it? I mean, every single time. I mean, Jones has gotten a lead in every single one of these matches, including the one they just lost pretty badly. He is showing himself to be one of the better ADCs in this division for sure, at least. And well, if they decide to play again next year, I don't know what rank they are in ranked right now, but they are very much showing themselves towards the godlike division as well.
I also am honestly not sure where the disparity is coming from. Dr. Killjoy is a very efficient player as well, but we're just not seeing quite these engagements going on for quite as much time. But it might just be solid landing of basics, abilities, better positioning. But right now, Thockman Jones has really always just had the leg up and going to try to make that a big case there for post drama. Wrapping on the backside, we do see LDG Fish with ult not quite in tow, so going to still provide damage with the water cannons, but still quite solid. Beads and Aegis panic used there, not going to be enough. They're surrounded, flailing like a dying fish. Dr. Killjoy will be taken down by Thock. Thor good?
Thor good.
Yeah, man.
Sorry, I was very confused because I thought you said Faf there, as in Fove, like the god.
That would
but
also
of course
be
you
cool.
meant
I
fuck.
wouldn't even, dude, don't even blame you for thinking that because I've so far been doing great with my names, but no, unfortunately, no Thoth in this one. Would be interesting to see the bipedal chicken taking their game. apologies for those technical difficulties, but in the interim, we just saw Thor good and doing Thor good things as they just managed to get a nice kill there onto A1. Gonna be pushing it on down this mid lane now. We do see Wild Inferno not intent on letting their foot off the gas pedal, and I don't blame them. This strategy of just being hyper aggressive has just done nothing but pay dividends for them. Gonna opt on to retreat back with what gold they have in pocket now and with what kill they had onto the ally. It seems that we're just going to mutually agree to go for different objectives here, as we do see Wild Inferno going onto the Gold Fury. But wait, maybe Flourish not even privy to this. Actually, yeah, Pyromancer's not even up, so unfortunately, Gold Fury is going to follow the wayside. Kraken expended, but hey, free Gold Fury in pocket, Primal Fury, in fact. You're pretty happy with that.
That was a bit of a weird Kraken, don't you agree?
I mean, unfortunately, it didn't quite get the center, if you ask me. I think they could have been more properly aimed. I think the taunt should have been expended first to ensure the damage met onto the Primal Fury. But you know what? Can't complain. Red Wings did the best they could.
Well, that's just even more BM saying that they can't do better. I would say they can do better. They are a way better player than that, and that's just a misplay. And I'm saying that as a loving and caring father, As
Getting bothered right now.
Jones just get a solo kill onto Dr. Killjoy here.
Jesus, man. Thockman Jones is going buck wild right now on this Ununo. It's just dashing in headlong, not a care in the world, slinging glaives at your face. Ishtar's a good god, too. I'm really not sure where the disparity is and just how Thockman Jones has been playing this so much differently. But LGG Fish gonna say, hey, don't forget about me, too, man. I get kills and gonna make sure to. An 11th kill there put on the board for Wild Inferno. Flourish gonna be that -10. Pyromancer in their pocket as well. It's looking to be quite dire.
Quite dire indeed, as it's 11-1 right now. Yeah, I mean, it looks appealing on the scoreboard, but that's about it. And if you're Flourish, you're not happy.
I'm certainly upset right now. Thor just too good. Thor's look at him. He knows how good Thor is because he's wandering around waiting for someone to pop their ugly head up and just smack him down with a nice CC combination. Ruination over the wall, not going to quite find its mark. Just going to give away your location. You know they're lurking. Vision, though, will at least ping them on out. Wild Inferno's positions are known at the moment, so that will at least grant Flourish a bit of opportunity to make sure they're playing it a bit more safely, positioning wisely around this area of the map. Fire Giant is an afterthought right now. Wild Inferno wants souls. Post-Strom is going to be the first on the menu right now. Elephant Soup, perchance? But Thor is good, and Thor has landed. Going to try to find the double tap there on the Realty. Had a half health. Winds of Shamash. Going to find some decent damage. Defender of Olympus going to actually try some decent defense, too. Barely going to make it on out. Is Hubwall, but not quite enough. Consumed there by A1. Egg is going to be used. Denied decent amount of damage. A1 just at this point doing some loop-de-loops. Post-Strom going to maybe try to peel. But at this point, I feel like it's a sacrifice life for no reason. Get on out of there, Elephant. Get off. He says, ooh, I am not going over there. Gonna mosey his way on back to Fountain.
Yeah, as we see Ishtar walking through box, because that bug is still not going to be fixed, and I'm going to complain about it as long as it's not fixed. Thank you very much. Hi-Res. Fire Giant being pulled now. It's around half HP already, and it's only post-trauma. Realty is there, but very much in the background. As actually, post-trauma just dies, and Realty gets a solo on Thor bad.
Thor not good? Thor not good.
Thor bad.
Thor bad. Thor bad.
Yeah,
Bad Thor. No, Realty good. Realty doing a great job there, managing to actually get an unexpected kill there onto Physics. Not what you want to see, but at the very least, 4 members of Fire Giant. Would have been nicer to have that on Physics, but hey, can't complain. Still pretty solid showing for you. Post-Drama, I really think that was an unnecessary waste of his life. I don't think Ganesh has any chance, and Ganesh is providing such little damage that it's easy to just turn onto him while not even releasing the Fire Giant. So I think that was just an unfortunate wasted call there from Post-Drama. I appreciate sacrifice, but with good cause, and there I don't think it was happening.
All right, before I say what I want to say, I do say I agree with you that there's a little to no chance that Ganesh actually steals it. But I do find it ironic that you say that there's no damage on the god that objectively has the most damaging ability in the entire game.
Okay, very true, and also does have one of the 3 kills, I must say. So actually, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Ganesh could. Maybe Ganesh is the best killer on their team right now, an absolute cold-blooded slaughterer. But it seems that Physics is going to be trying to reclaim the title of Thor good, but might not be able to find it fast enough. Thor bad. Thor really bad. Realty finding their 2nd kill on a Physics.
The only unfortunate thing for Flourish there is, well, it's good that you get another kill, but you're getting the one person who already didn't have Fire Giant, so not really losing anything out is in Wild Inferno, as they actually get a gold tree for it now, and looking at the tier 2 tower into the dual lane here.
It is a 4v5, must be said, and Thor's presence being lacking is certainly going to be felt by Wild Inferno. A lot of damage dropped there, but all ults in tow right now, a big Athena taunt could spell doom, and a decent amount of beads down at the moment. It seems that they're aware of that. Flourish is trying to maybe play it back a little bit longer. Blaze Retribution going to try to find them. Nice beads there from Red Wings, going to be able to opt on and mosey on out, and it does not seem that Death's Grasp is going to find them either. Realty going to expend that ult in vain.
Yeah, Realty needs to get some bowling lessons for next time they want to throw out that ult. Not hitting anyone there. It's a bit of a shame onto the Persephone.
I did used to actually be in a bowling league, so Realty, feel free to add me in the Discord at Delo. I can give you, we can talk about that real quick. But beyond that Delo lore there, gonna just opt on to move to maybe the Pyromancer. At the very least, they staved off the aggression. Lost a tier 2, but that was expected. You have to imagine that was a lost cause already. Physics not happy about the Thor bad allegations. Gonna dive right into the members of Flourish and not be able to grab, though the Pyromancer will be secured there for Flourish. And Thor might be real bad. Gonna be caught out by the pillars. Not gonna quite find them, though. At the very least, you're gonna be able to mosey on out with your life this time, Physics, but maybe not next time.
Okay.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Fuck, man. Jones good. Is Jones gets a double kill here.
Really
Might
good. Double kill. Might be
kill.
a triple kill. This is looking so tired. Get out of there. Wrapping around the backside. They got the heavenly. Oh no. This is looking bad. I don't think they realize the agility that this man's is capable of. Looking for the dash in. Gonna have a taunt on board in a moment. Wins a Shamash. Gonna be able to provide some decent peel at the very least. But rooted on down. Syzac's looking to be in a bit of trouble. It's looking to be a delayed Quadra. Potentially a delayed Penta. Can he do it? Thockman Jones, come on in there.
Nope.
What are you doing, Red Wing?
Look, he's looking at it. I mean, it was already delayed, so it doesn't really matter all that much anymore.
Second time that man's done it too. He's delayed the Quadra. Red Wings, come on, man. Share the glory.
Red Wings does not care. He's like Poseidon good.
Poseidon is good, but Cernuno's better, and Thor's still, unfortunately, on the wing side of bad. No, I'm talking
Thor,
too much
okay.
crap. This thing's still doing great. Oh, Thor bad.
For bad. Phoenix
Oh
bad.
my
Phoenix
God.
dead.
The Phoenix will fall at the very least, as well as Physics ults to the wayside. But still, Wild Inferno in a dominant position, really just not going to let off this aggression. I'm so happy that I'm catching the game that Wild Inferno really is turning things around. It turns out, end of the 6-week season, great time to completely change up your MO, and it's working to great effect.
Yes. Yeah, they are turning it around quite a little bit. I mean, we still see them maybe like dancing around objectives a little bit, but they're way better than what I'm used from them in terms of decision making. So I mean, I couldn't scream if I wanted to right now, because like I said before, I will be kicked out of my apartment, but I also didn't have a reason to yet.
Thockman Joe's good, but hold on, the Fire Giant is being engaged by Flourish and dropped very low. Get in there right now. This could be actually an issue. Flourish has gotten the Fire Giant and opting rather than to fight because they don't have the confidence right now, realizing it's still a 45 and they're still behind. I think it's the wisest play. Pillar's going to be dropped there to potentially block him on out, but too much damage taken to the skies right now is Thor. Thor good. Thor's back to being good. Decent damage on Dr. Killjoy. Get the beads on out of there. Dash on out. Continuing the aggression, the Wild Inferno not intent on letting that one fall on the wayside. Death's Grasp gonna be used, keep them locked in place for a little bit. Primordial Onslaught doing decent amount of damage, and they don't have the regen anymore. You're not Fire Gianted up, guys. You might not realize that because you're so used to it at the moment. And Wild Inferno is just gonna have to be content to lose that one, pick up 2 kills. But for an FG, that's a pretty good trade because it's, yes, you're lost some players that you want that FG onto, but what really matters is that you took it off the board for Wild Inferno.
Yeah, you're just delaying the game for at least another 5 minutes. I still think it's very rough for Flourish to actually look for a way back into this. I mean, we have seen weirder stuff in Smite history, of course, but...
Oh, for sure.
Fisher.
I mean, and Jeffrey certainly won't thank you for it as you delay his bedtime by even more, so thanks a lot, Flourish.
Yeah, by this time, I don't know if I'm going to bed anymore, as it's slowly starting to go completely light outside of my room. Yeah.
As well as the members of Flourish, your circadian rhythm is being slaughtered right now. Looking to see if Flourish can mount that massive comeback. What I'm looking for, really, the real thing that I think could just instantly wipe them is just a nice, classic Athena taunt into Kraken combination. I still don't think I've really seen that tried and true combination be pulled off to the effect that I want it to be. Red Wing, all Red Wing's done here is still delayed Penta from a man Thok. No. Red Wing's doing his job, getting that damage up on the board, but not to the extent that I'd like to see. I'm looking for Red Wings to pump out the Krakens a bit more with... At this point, I'd say, honestly, I'd never advise for, like, going off cooldown, but I feel like they're maybe delaying it a bit too long. They're holding them in pocket for a bit too perfect of an opportunity that's just never going to come.
Well, I mean, I do I do admire you for not wanting to talk down on players all that much, but being the second lowest onto the damage charts here in the bottom left of your screen,
Destroy him,
being
Jeffrey.
below the Ganesha, that's not allowed on Poseidon, dude. You're not doing your job, Poseidon dead.
Poseidon bad. Unfortunately, being overtaken by Ganesh. But to be fair, that is a bloodthirsty Ganesh. Do you see that one kill on his ledger? That's a crazy man.
It's a crazy man indeed, but it's still an elephant, and I think the wet noodle should do a bit more damage than the elephant.
Not going to quite find it yet, but maybe in the next fight we'll rack up those numbers a little bit longer. But Postrama looking to retain their position. Postrama says, I might lose the game, but I'm going to win the player damage there, Red Wing. A little bit of a battle going on between them. Seems that Wild Inferno really just seeking, because they have the advantage here, they don't really need to engage Flourish at all on their own terms. They can wait for that Fire Giant to come back up and honestly have a decent chance of just retaking it. Phoenix has respawned, though, for Flourish on the left side and as well, sorry, on the right side. Going to be coming up in mid pretty soon. Might be looking for an engagement there. Syzax, no, not like this, buddy. So far out. Going to loop around the backside. No vision to provide. Misses the stun there, but Thor is good, and Thor is going to provide a decent amount of damage. Taunted back in. The Athena is going to get it. Athena, good.
Athena, good. Gilgamesh,
that was just solid damage, solid execution. Syzax not having the awareness, not having the vision. Gets caught out. Not what you want to see.
Yeah, and now this bird is looking mighty free as it's a 4v5 for Wild Inferno here. Athena pushing in. There's a lot of relics already being pushed, and there goes out the pillars as well from Ganesh, but a little regrouping is nothing more than Flourish can get out of Wild Inferno. Now it's Thor up into the sky, instantly landing, but actually landing onto Dr. Killjoy, being forced to use both relics here. Double tap will do most of their health, so it's the Ishtar being forced back to base as Mid Phoenix will fall down.
I'm loving how Wild Inferno always seems to send one person as just a harassing scout, go to a different lane, draw the attention away so we can knock down this bird, and they always manage to live. It was LDG Fish game 1, and Physics this time making it happen, drawing all the attention away onto the solo lane side, so all the members of Flourish had to come over, help Dr. Killjoy to ensure he lived. Wild Inferno grabs that mid Phoenix nice and easy. Gonna set up this Fire Giant on a silver platter for them.
Fire Giant instantly being pulled with just the two of them there, but I think it's fine. If you've seen what Jones has been doing all this game, Dilo, he's absolutely insane, and for good coming over there.
Yeah, they're going to be able to easily knock that one down. That's looking really rough for them. 5 members of Fire Giant all wrapped around their belts, looking to maybe make this push right downside the solo lane side. Phoenix is already quite low after all. Pushing very far out right now is Syzax. Gonna have to retreat on back to base. Just trying to play a bit of tower defense to make sure that you have minions pushing down that lane. But it's under no threat, really. Even if you have minions pushing that lane, okay, they grab a tier 2 tower. What now? Right now, LDG Fish going to be the split pusher of this certain engagement. Just going to put down some minions. But meanwhile, everyone seeming on Wild Inferno content to lurk around the dual lane side. I actually disagree with that. I think this is the time where you initiate a big fight. Just end the game right here. I see no reason why not.
Well, yeah, Kraken is down as it got missed onto the Fire Giant who was already dead. So a bit of a shame over there.
Wait, really?
So, yeah.
What? Oh my god. See, that's why you need the Athena taunt on the objectives.
Well, no, the objective was dead when it got used. It's a bit of the problem.
And then kill it again. That'll really send them a message. It's not about winning.
With the cooldown, it's already back up, so it doesn't really matter, does it? That's a good being able
point.
to maybe get their damage stats a bit up. You know, I'm actually sad because I really like Red Wings as a player, and I think this might be the worst match I've ever seen of them. And they're still winning that hard because they're being carried so hard by Jones and Torgood.
I'm dead, man. I'm deader than these members of Flourish are about to be. Sitting underneath the Phoenix, gonna try to put up a mounting defense. Tiamat, always good in these scenarios, can just spam out those abilities, but you have to spam them with a bit of purpose at the very least. Gonna try to put on some damage. LDG Fish doing their job beautifully. Oh my god, poor Gilgamesh. Watered out there. The Sandstorm is not gonna be effective against the Rain Dance put up by this Hubwa. Thor good? Thor great. Gonna find a lot of damage there onto Dr. Killjoy. Not gonna be able to find the kill though, unfortunately, and now gonna find themselves in a bit of an awkward spot, treating on back, but at the very least they've secured pressure. All Phoenix is down now. Titan looking quite weak. Red Wing good. Red Wing putting up the damage numbers, gonna bring down Dr. Killjoy with the quickness. Seems that Wild Inferno's content with that kill. Gonna have to retreat on back now. Caught on back in the back a little bit is Athena. That's gonna be fine though. Athena's not really in any real mortal danger, but Thor might be. Thor might not be so good at the moment. Half health. Retreating on back though. Flourish Water Scroll going to provide them a nice and easy escape. Wild Inferno really slated to take this game on the next push.
Yeah, I think they could have just ended there, but they Wild Inferno decided to go for the safe play and just back off for now. Probably will get it next turn as they get both objectives once again. Might wait for a new fire giant, knowing them, and then wait around that for 5 minutes, but hey, we'll see.
Might wait for the damage numbers for Red Wings to get above the Ganesh, trying to maybe boost up those stats, padded stats, before they ended to say, no, come on, man, you gotta let me get above the Guardian. You gotta let me get above the Guardian. And getting pretty close to it, too. Post-Rama, watch out. He's coming for your position, buddy.
Yeah, the Athena is not doing little damage. I mean, okay, I take it back. 5,000 is absolutely nothing. It's
Hey,
still,
that's
I mean,
a deadly Athena, man. 1-0. He's got actually the best KD ratio right now. Oh, wait, no, I'm
13
sorry.
assists.
No. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm not a math student. 10-0. Sununos will maybe slightly edge that out. Slightly.
Just by
Same
a
fraction,
0
think-
after the 1, you know. It's not that...
But to be fair, it's the same fraction if you think about it.
And if they got less assists, you know.
Yeah, be a team player. Think about that, Thok,
Yeah. How about you stop critting down everyone with 2 basics and actually give someone else some kills, like, you know, Red Wings.
Yeah, why don't you
50
send a
if
text to your friend
it's-
Dr. Killjoy, ask how he's doing. He's probably feeling terrible right now. They're sitting underneath the Phoenix. Yeah, Thokman's not here to be friends, though. Thokman's here to take your soul. Thokman's here to take your Titan. Thokman's here to take finals, potentially, even if the Wild Inferno boys can keep up this pressure. Once again, they're just backing up for Fire Giant. At this point, wise play, 30 minutes in, EFG going to be on. If you can only imagine, it's going to set up for the final push. A bit of Wild Infernoism showing right here. The old Wild Inferno that we know and love, going to make sure they ensure themselves that victory. And I can't blame them with this, final games of the season. You want to make sure you're stamping it with a good note.
Sure. I think you enter like any day of the week. But hey, they'll still end. They just take a little bit. They just take some more time, you know? And that's okay.
And that is okay, Jeffrey. Exactly. Going to be moseying up and down this mid lane. And once again, we see LDG Fish relegate, and they're pinging him out to say, dude, what? And you can only imagine like saying, I don't want to go over there. He's mean. Looking to maybe try to split attentions, but hold on. Blinking on in is Syzax going to try to kick him one in against the wall. Solid damage being found there against Stockman. They clearly realized he's a target. Hold on a second. This could be huge. Red Wing's going to find a kill on a Syzax in retaliation, but the main damage dealers of Thor Good and Thokman is going to be found in exchange only for Syzax. It seems that waiting has actually for once gone against Wild Inferno completely. Gonna buy them a bit more time, but still not enough for Flourish to push out. That's gotta feel good nonetheless.
Yeah, it must feel good if you're Flourish. It must not feel good if you are a neutral spectator who just wants to go to sleep.
So sorry, buddy.
But yeah, a
You'll get this soon.
little way back into the game, Flourish just has been given here by Wild Inferno. Wild Inferno playing it safe turned out to not be the safe option.
I'm just honestly confused what happened there. It seems that, again, once Flourish initiates, when they initiate off the back foot, and this happened in game 1 too, those couple times where you saw Naja, Syzax, when Syzax leads the charge, they come up with a dub. And it's worked pretty well because they're just disrupted. Blinked into the back line, kicked Thokman in the back of the head into a wall, brought him down with the quickness, and Physics was up in the air. So he couldn't really do too much. Had a brief delay before he could react to the situation, and by that time, the damage had already been done. So honestly, brilliant job there by Syzax.
Brilliant job indeed, as... Well, those just got one hit done, don't they?
Yep.
Now over here into the mid lane, we're grouping up a bit. I mean, still Fire Giant on 3 of them, so you're still in the driver's seat. But all the Phoenixes did respawn for Flourish, so pretty big for them.
Yeah, they're pretty happy about that. Thokman Jones alone right now on the left side of the jungle here, going to grab themselves a nice Oni Fury for their troubles. But all members here of Flourish looking to maybe scrap. This is as aggressive as they've been for the last 10 minutes. And that's because all 3 Phoenixes are up right now, so they actually do have the ability to fight. But hold on, not in the fight. It's Dogman. That could be a big issue. Dr. Killjoy going to find one on LDG Fish. Zizak's going to find one on Physics. They've initiated with their best friend Thok, and Thor is not good enough for that one. Thok now on the big retreat. Might be able to crit everyone down just all the same. Dr. Killjoy going to find one. This could actually be horrible for all the members of Flourish if they manage to let him just free basic. Realty going to kill there on Anisha. All very low, but is this enough?
No.
Big kick there from Syzax. The risky play is going to pay off. 4 members down. Could Flourish turn this all around? Will Wild Inferno's old ways come back to bite them in the ass?
That would be such a shame. I mean, looking at that fight, I think Kraken was just a bit off the mark once again. That could have really made a difference. And then, I mean, gotta give credits to my man Sax there. Blinking in onto Jones. I mean, if Jones hits like a basic on literally anyone in the team, they just die. Kraken is back up though, and it will hit this time.
Just what you asked for. Syzax, the one you were talking about, the MVP there, is going to be dropped. Post-trauma might be next. This could be trouble.
Bowling lessons. No.
Nope. Not a strike quite yet, but hey. They cooked him up like some turkeys there for a moment. Flourish doing pretty solid. I think the big issue there was they forgot that Thok was a member of their team, Wild Inferno. They went in heavy initiated without their biggest damage dealer.
Yes. Yeah, and then the fight ending. Yeah, I mean, like I was trying to say right before Sax just got absolutely annihilated by a very low cooldown Kraken. Yeah, I mean, blinking in and actually making sure Jones dies there, because Jones can basic attack anyone of the team and it just instantly fall down as long as he does manage to get a crit.
It's just proven that even when it was like a 4v1, they still had to really respect Thok. The only thing that got them that was the bravery of Syzax, willing to look death in the face, blink into the face of it, in fact, and just go for that kill, and it really paid off. Gonna have to ult back right down up after that. Thor bad, unfortunately, right now. Physics gonna have that not up right now in the next engagement. Still looking also a bit of a chunk out of their health, too. All ults up for the members of Flourish. 1 ult expended for Wild Inferno. It's all going to come down to their ult economics. Can they use each one well per capita? We'll have to see.
We'll have to see indeed. And, you know, by now, everyone is full build. Everyone is max level. You don't really have a lead anymore, especially with all the Phoenixes being alive. No enhanced Fire Giant for any of the teams right now, as the Fire Giant is just being here, emoting on us as people are trying to, like, go inside of the pit and out of it. So the Fire Giant just looks like it's dabbing on us. Fight starting out here, though, as Red Wings might have been caught out a little bit, being forced to use both relics early on.
That's really bad, actually. If they find the engagement on the back end, as we've seen Syzax been doing in the past, that could really provide fatal there for the Poseidon. Gonna have to try to just make sure that you remain safe and provide some decent peel is the Athena. Gonna have to, yeah, dashing on out to actually preserve their Magi's Blessing and avoid the knockup was really smart, because you're gonna need that for this next engagement. Right now, a bit poked out as Physics, and post-trauma is looking a bit worse for where it was as well. Taunted on in, looks like that's gonna be the first target. Crit on down, LDG Fish gets the credit. Post-trauma is an easy kill. Death's Grasp going to be a bit too late. Bowling lessons there, my friend. Have to know timing. Bowling.
Plenty bad.
Yeah, I mean, you got some hits there. Now, Physics going to try to find another one. Anvil of Dawn going to take up to the skies, but I think they're all out of range at the moment, and you're also not having any support. Hold on there. Doesn't even care. Going to go right on there in A1, but hold on. Gonna have to also blink right back out. Just better not stick around for too long. That Ruination can certainly find you. Fire Giant going to fall. Thokman doing Thokman things. Going to take down Syzax.
Yeah, and now you have 2 people on a half a minute and a minute timer. Well, but we're looking at Pyromancer. Or
I mean, the Red Wings agenda has indeed come to fruition. They has bumped up on the damage charts right underneath the hub wall now. So at the very least, Wild Inferno can feel safe in ending this game. Pyromancer's going to be grabbed. 3 runic bombs, man. It looks like they are playing Counter-Strike, buddy. You might need to use that Russian vocabulary again.
Yeah, I will
Don't
not.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was about to say, don't actually.
Also, very surprising here that I do want to mention is looking at the 3 wall chalices. Yeah,
Oh.
that is not something you see every single day.
Dude, what are these guys cooking for real, bro? This is crazy. 2 bombs right now in Physics pocket. He's doing some chemistry experience right now. I know his name's Physics, but he's looking to branch out in the STEM majors here. Gonna be looking at this dual lane side Phoenix here, lurking around, just waiting for anyone to pop up. But he's caught out. They know where he is. This honestly could provide to be a bad engagement if they decide to catch him lacking. Ruination over the wall could provide to be his doom. But now being joined by Thawkman Jones, and that's all the protection you need.
Well, yeah, I mean, for Flourish, you can't really hit anyone from Inferno if you're dead, and being hit by 3 basic attacks by Jones, no matter who you are, kind of means that you're just dead.
They really need a lock. I don't even know what the idea is. Do you lock down a different target first or get away from his basic attacks, or do you try to take down Jones first? What do you do if you're a member of Flourish as far as targeting goes?
You press F6, but yeah, I mean, I do think you kind of have to focus Jones, and then after that focus Fish, and then hope that Physics just like ins, like turbo ins, as Cosmic Warrior likes to say. That's basically your winning condition right now.
I think Thawkman Jones is privy to that fact as well, hanging in the back line, just letting Niche tank these big abilities here. Magi's Blessing Bubble going to be popped there, so at the very least you don't have that to worry about for a little bit of your Flourish, but that means that engagement's going to happen soon. You do see, once again, LDG Fish doing just a fantastic job on Hobwa, a guy that's so immobile at poking people out. You normally want your split pusher to be slippery, escapable. I mean, sure, Hobwa's made of water, but not actually that slippery, but they're going to be moving on in now into this duel inside Phoenix. We do see Runic Bomb going to be laid down very easily, providing that kill. Kraken provided defensively, but just going to completely miss its mark, but it doesn't even matter because you have the crits there from Thawkman. Going to provide 2 kills easily. The bowling is going to happen. Thor is going to be good, but not good enough there. Defender of Olympus going to come on in a bit too late. Double tapping on in. At this point, though, they can start to set up for game. 5 members strong, all EFG'd up. Pretty solid amount of health. Post-Strom going to try to provide what little peel he can. Wave crashing on in. Going to miss Realty. Could provide a little bit of trouble there for Fish. It's low health. Dr. Killjoy going to find one, but Titan going to fall nonetheless. I was about to say that'd be a crazy reversal. Checking my cheat sheet. That indeed was a victory for Wild Inferno. I'm messing with you. Wild Inferno going to take that one. We'll see you at the desk. Woo, I am tired. I know Jeffrey is. I shouldn't even say that. I'm speaking to my privilege here. But that was an intense 3-game set there. Real back and forth action coming in here. If you just saw the same game we just saw, Wild Inferno, after some undesirable mess-ups there, really brought the pain down to Flourish's head, winning that set 2-1. Jeffrey, what are our thoughts?
Well, for that last game, I do think you know now what we mean when we say they Wild Inferno did, as that game took 40 minutes, and it really didn't have to. But yeah, taking the W home in the end is all that matters. I mean, you gotta look at 4Good and also at Jones here. Once again, I think Jones for this entire set is just the big MVP. Even the game that they lost, he was 3 levels up at one point. He is looking... well, I mean, there's one other Hunter player I can think of by the top of my head, which is Remarkable Wolf, but either one of them is very much in the driver's seat for the MVP of Immortal ADC right now.
And despite that, we just didn't see enough pressure coming in ever in any of those games onto the dual lane side from the jungler of Flourish. So I just think that was a missed opportunity, because you always saw Thawkman Jones, no matter what the circumstances were, pulling ahead. And if that's the case, I think you gotta help out your carry, because that's your carry. That's the one who's supposed to be bringing you into that late game with the big damage.
Well, yeah, I mean, in this game 3, I don't like the Gilgamesh pick. Gonna be completely honest with you. I said it before the game started, and I'll say it now. And I think the 3-11 in 5 kind of speaks for itself. I don't think that was the best pick they could have picked.
No, it didn't quite come to pass as the greatest thing. I do want to throw some credit, though, onto those who were still on the defeating side, but put in some good work. Realty, making it happen, honestly. Put in some really good numbers against Physics. Got his number for a little bit, too. Doing some decent jobs there. Missed a few of those bowling shots, but hey, don't we all in my days of bowling as well. certainly had some gutter balls. But Realty doing a good job running the damage and managing to stay relatively safe. Only 1 death in this really high kill game. Pretty solid. Dr. Killjoy, unfortunately, just a bit outmatched there. A1 doing Tiamat's job, but just not well enough. I just don't feel like the team was cohesive at certain points. You only had a couple times where the pieces seemed to click. And in those engagements, things really felt great. And you saw a lot of people dropping on the side of Wild Inferno, but they just weren't able to capture that magic quite enough. But what really matters is, one, I predicted it right. Haha, Jeffrey, my team won, even though you said kind of the same thing. But indeed, Wild Inferno was able to bring that back. And the other important thing, Jeffrey's able to get some sleep. Jeffrey, how do you feel about that? Exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself. But that being said, that is all we're going to have for you tonight. Jeffrey's going to get some sleep. I'm going to get some as well, I feel like. But that being said, thank you all very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed. This has been the Smite Draft League Week 6 Immortal Division game here between members of Wild Inferno and Flourish. Hope you stick around to see more as we get into playoff season. Thank you all very much. We had iNooblet on the cams, by the way. I'm D'Lo, joined here by Jeffrey. We'll catch you all later.
Bye.